Players take the knee at the start of this match. The message against racism still clear. So it will be England and Ella Toone to get us underway. The last two European champions in the women's game going head-to-head here in Zurich. Both won the title under Sarina Wiegman, but England are her focus now. Will her former side, her home nation, deal a decisive blow to England's bid to retain their crown, or can England show their grit and resilience and get themselves going in this tournament before it's too late? It's Lucy Bronze down the right-hand side. Here's Lauren James, early delivery, headed away by the Netherlands, flicked on by Vika Kaptein, and will be picked up by Kira Walsh, who steers it back to the halfway line. And Leah Williamson, England playing from left to right in this first half. Williamson's ball forward is calmly nodded away by Burman. Bad back pass into the area, cleared away by Daphne van Domselaar. The whistle had already gone for a free kick to the Netherlands, but goodness me, I thought the Dutch had made a real hash of that, and England almost in.
Off to a flying start, though, and that's exactly what you want to see. You can see Lucy Bronze there going in aggressive, bit of a shove in the back there, but look, you're going to tell that Netherlands midfield that you are in a fight.
So the Netherlands in possession with the ball just inside their own penalty area. So victory tonight for England, and it's all to play for in this group as they look to reach the quarter-finals. Worth saying as well, if they beat the Netherlands by a margin of 2 this evening, a win against Wales in England's final game will see them through to the quarter-finals regardless. Anything else and it gets a bit complicated. If they draw, it's out of their own hands. It will go down to the final round of games, but they wouldn't be in complete control of their own destiny. If they lose tonight, England, and Wales don't beat France later, that's it. The Lionesses will be out. As Lucy Bronze picks up the ball over the halfway line, looking for the run of Lauren James, but will play it forward instead to Alessia Russo. Bronze wins it back as the Netherlands get the foot in, as Williamson sends it forward, looking for the run of James once more. And now here is Kira Walsh, lays it off in the centre circle. It's given away though by the Netherlands, and Groenen will pick it up and send it out to the right hand side. And Aston Villa's Chastity Grant, given her first major tournament start, and she keeps hold of it on the halfway line. But then England win it with Lauren Hemp, playing from left to right in the white shirts with the blue top and then red stripe just underneath it, the blue shorts, and then the white socks as they go all the way back to Hannah Hampton, who's in goal for England. The back four of Lucy Bronze, Leah Williamson, Alex Greenwood and Jess Carter. Ahead of them is Kira Walsh and Georgia Stanway, with Lauren James, Ella Toone and Lauren Hemp supporting Alessia Russo up top as Carter steers it all the way back to Hampton. Bronze is asking for it on the right-hand side. Good driven ball from Hampton, low and finds her. And James, who has started on the right, Toone essentially mind games there by Sarina Wiegman in her pre-match TV interview, but James, as expected, is on the right for now, although she does like to drift around. That ball forward intercepted though. Here come the Netherlands, but they've given the ball away themselves. Big cheers as Ella Toone picks it up for England. Out to the left-hand side, and Lauren Hemp driving towards the penalty area. Here goes Hemp, she's well held up on the edge of the box. But Hemp does get the delivery across, and James is in there and heads wide, 4 yards out. She was stretching it, had just drifted past that far post where Lauren James was waiting, and she nods it behind. But good start this from England, Karen Bardsley.
And that's so good from Lauren Hemp on that left-hand side for England. I mean, she just gets the ball out of her feet and delivers a lovely cross into the area, and Lauren James is just well marshalled out by Esme Brooks on this Netherlands left-hand side. But what I'm seeing is a really high start position from the back line and the midfield pair of Kira Walsh and Georgia Stanway, and lovely to see Alex Greenwood outside on that left back position.
Leah Williamson just marshalling that ball back towards Hannah Hampton as it's cleared forwards. Yeah, good spot, Karen. Jess Carter, well, let's see if they switch back now. This is interesting. So yeah, Carter's moved over to that left-hand side for now, but Greenwood's still hugging at left back. Yeah. So Carter playing at left centre half and Alex Greenwood at left back. Well, we spoke in the build-up, didn't we, about the fact that Millie Bright not being here had restricted Sarina Wiegman a little bit, but that was another change she could make. Just put Carter, who was really done for pace many times against France with Cascarino, centrally. As the Netherlands come down the right-hand side, Miedemar into the area, touch let her down, and Hannah Hampton gathers. But England was struggling at the back there, and we were, commentator's curse or whatever it was, we were just saying, you put Alex Greenwood out there, got a little bit more pace, and the Dutch absolutely still, whether it's Greenwood or Carter, did England down their left and the Dutch right for pace there.
That's the risk that you take, isn't it, when you play a high back line as well, regardless of who's down there. If they're as fast as Lauren Hemp playing in the back. A ball over in the channel, in behind the back line, and you're in trouble.
Open start to this game, Hemp's delivery into the area, too much on it for Rousseau, and Daphne van Domselaar of Arsenal, all in Blackpool claims. So, Van Domselaar in goal for the Netherlands. The back four of Kasperai, Janssen, Berman and Brooks. Ahead of them, it's Groenen, Roord and Kaptein, with Grant and Palova supporting Viviana Miedema, who got her 100th goal for her country in just what is now 127 caps in their last match against Wales. And if the Dutch have a throw over on the far side, the most remarkable thing, Karen, is that none of them were penalties.
Sorry, I was so focused, I'll be honest, listening. I was looking at Esme Brooks on this left-hand side here for the Netherlands, and I'm looking at Lucy Bronze, completely focused on Jill Roord, and I just think it's nice to come back shape from England, but we still have to have that open body position just to keep an eye on how much movement they're going to see from this Netherlands side. Goalless
here with 6 minutes gone in Zurich, in what is really a must-win game for the Lionesses. As they play the ball forwards, Brooks gets a touch, and Bronze will take the throw quickly for England, headed away by Berman. Chelsea player, but yet to make a debut for them. She spent whole season on loan back at her former club, PSV Eindhoven, as Lucy Bronze picks up possession and will steer it back to Leah Williamson.
Bit casual there for me, though, from Lauren James. I think Lucy Bronze is just looking to play a quick throw, and Lauren James didn't check her shoulder and was quickly pressed and nearly dispossessed.
Oh, long ball over the top. Ella Toon could be onto this. It's good goalkeeping by Van Domselaar. Clears long over the halfway line, but Toon, the one change for this game, already making an impact as the Dutch come down the right-hand side, well anticipated by Jess Carter. Kira Walsh should pick it up and does so. Good strength in the centre, and she has it once more. Walsh and Stanway really struggled to get into the game against France, but already they're having more of an impact here against the Dutch as Lauren Hemp picks it up, left-hand side of the penalty area, up against Kasperai. Hemp still going, cuts it back to the edge of the box. Kaptein reads it, intercepts it for the Dutch and plays it forward, looking for Miedema. Good fit in from Jess Carter. Forward now to Ella Toon, and now Stanway. Out to the left-hand side, and Hemp once more, who's been busy in these opening exchanges. 7 minutes which have flown by here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. Still goalless here in Zurich in this key group game at the Women's Euros for England, as Toon trying to keep it in on the byline, but the whistle has gone. She wasn't able to do that, and it's a Netherlands goal kick.
I'm seeing some really positive things from the midfield already, much different than I saw against France. Kira Walsh, and like I said, the partner just to her left, Georgia Stanway, getting back as soon as the ball is dispossessed, and a slide tackle and a challenge from Kira Walsh to kind of back tackle, and just that fight, that's exactly what we wanted to see.
So the Netherlands in possession, send the ball over the halfway line. This will be chased down the right-hand side by Chastity Grant, but Jess Carter is there.
That's really good.
It back to Hannah.
Really good from Jess Carter to get across the line of Chastity Grant, to slow her run down, slow any progression, and give the likes of Hannah Hemp to a bit more time on the ball to distribute.
And a good ball once more to find Lauren Hemp, who takes it on her chest towards the penalty area, cuts in left-hand side, chips the ball across. Rousseau's there and heads wide, and the England fans behind the goal away to our right were already celebrating. What a huge chance for Alessia Rousseau, but it stays 0-0.
And Lauren Hemp is just unbelievable in that wide area. She just drives into the box, she cuts in left, right, she freezes the defender and delivers a great ball, and Alessia Rousseau will be disappointed she didn't attack that and go through it. Slight glancing header just wide of Van Domselaar's post, but I like what I'm seeing from England.
It's been a really good start from the Lionesses, but Rousseau will be disappointed. She'll be ruining that missed opportunity. She's enjoyed her best goal-scoring season of her career. 20 goals this season for Arsenal. Joint Golden Boot winner in the WSL as well. 12 of them coming in the league. She's England's main woman these days, down the middle, up front. And that was a big opportunity as Greenwood intercepts and plays the ball forward, looking for Lauren Hemp once more. It's cleared away over on that far side by Kasperai, and Hemp has stayed down there off the pitch as Kasperai, her Manchester City teammate, helps her to her feet, and the Netherlands will have a throw over on the far side.
I like what I saw there from Alessia Rousseau as well. You're thinking, how are you going to press this Netherlands team? Are you going to press high and aggressive? But you know, she dropped off, she forced Daphne van Domslaar in the Dutch goal to kick long, and it went straight to Alex Greenwood and intercepted and started a new attack. So good positional discipline, I think, and good discipline in the press from England.
Here goes Walsh out to the left-hand side, and Greenwood, who wins the throw over on the far side, but you can just see Jess Carter looking more comfortable against this opposition in this more central role. We've seen her play at left back against lower ranked opposition for England recently. She was brilliant in the Jamaica game, but she wasn't tested. Against France it was really challenging, but her reading of the game is so good, and she's already made a couple of really key interceptions in that centre half role. And you're liking Alex Greenwood out at left back. Yeah,
and it's so tough, I think, when you do keep swapping positions, because the game looks different to you whether you're in the centre or you're on the side.
Here goes Hemp, left-hand side, strong challenge by Dominique Janssen. Referee is happy with that. It was inside the penalty area. Hemp stayed down. Netherlands clear away. Boos from the England fans all around the stadium here in Zurich. Netherlands still playing on. They are checking for a potential penalty, VAR, and the referee has stopped play because Hemp's still down inside the area. Now she's sitting up. Let's have a look. Oh, the VAR check has been and gone, and just talk us through this replay, Karen.
No, I think initially I thought Lauren Hemp was absolutely flattened by Dominique Janssen, and Serena looks just as perplexed as I was in the moment, but looking back at that, it essentially looks like a bit of a 50-50 challenge. But I'm not going to lie, yesterday we saw something given as a penalty in that Germany-Denmark game for significantly less.
So no VAR intervention. It was a very quick check. Serena Wiegmann in conversation now with her assistant coach Arjan Vuring, who is, and this is an interesting strand to the narrative, taking over as the Netherlands head coach after the tournament. He's worked with Serena Wiegmann since 2017 at the Netherlands. She won the tournament with them and reached the World Cup final. Exactly what she's done in her time as England manager. Logical next step, he says, for him to go from assistant to coach, but will do everything he can to end his time with England in style. As the whistle goes for a free kick to the Netherlands just inside their own half, playing all in bright orange right to left. But it is strange. It must be strange for him, mustn't it? I mean, they're both Dutch, Wiegmann and Vuring, but to know that, you're going to be taking over this side is something in the back of his mind. I wonder, just ticking along and almost preparing, as much as he will try consciously not to do that for when he does take over.
No, he's a professional, isn't he? He's fully focused on being here with England, but I think this is a great opportunity for him. They've obviously...
Oh, that's a back pass there that's risky. It shouldn't have been, but Hannah Hampton took her eye off it. There was no orange shirt within 20 yards of her, and she's got away with it. She controls. It wasn't going to go into the goal. It was going wide and along the edge of the corner of the 6-yard box.
I actually don't think that was Hannah Hampton's fault. Yeah, I think that was actually just a poor back pass, and the support angle. That's what happens when you make a back pass. You don't look at the support angle of the goalkeeper.
I'll bow to your goalkeeper's union knowledge, Karen Barsley.
This time you have to.
Free kick to England just outside the centre circle. But yes, you were saying about Vuring being a professional.
No, look, these two, Serena Wiegmann and Vuring, is obviously, they've worked together for a very, very long time, and he's a great coach in his own right. So I think he'll be relishing the opportunity to be that leader and drive everything about the team. And so for me, the interesting narrative is, the subplot is what's happening with Jonker at the moment in time.
Yeah, the Netherlands manager Andries Jonker, as Hannah Hampton has it just outside the England penalty area, goalless. 14 minutes gone, but England have started well. Yeah, he had an explosive press conference just before their opening victory against Wales. Essentially, it's been known since January he wouldn't be continuing after this tournament as Netherlands boss, but he went on a podcast basically sounding pretty unhappy about that and saying that he considered stepping down before the tournament. Dutch media didn't take very kindly to that being said explicitly before the Dutch began their Euros campaign, and one journalist in particular, who he has a little bit of a history with, accused him of orchestrating a puppet show by being so open about what had been going on, and that led to a very fiery exchange. They did, off the back of that, win their opener against Wales, but they are under pressure here from England to have started really well, as Brooks will bring the ball away, challenged by Gruenen on James, but long over the top for Miedema, who gives the thumbs up, but it's rather a kind thumbs up from the Netherlands record goal scorer, because it was a poor ball, sailed over her head, and Hannah Hampton in possession for England inside her own penalty area. Karen Bardsley.
I think England are doing a really good job of switching play and narrowing up and making that midfield block really compact for the Netherlands.
And they've gone for the long ball over the top. Here is Russo, right-hand side of the area. Toon arriving. Here's James. James plays it back to Russo. She's marshalled away by Brooks. So feeds it back to Lucy Bronze, who swings it in. Right-footed, looking for the run of Hemp, but Van Domselaar is underneath that. And in terms of the impact that Van Domselaar has for the Netherlands, Karen, I mean, as a former England goalkeeper yourself, she's just been fantastic for Arsenal this season. She only played twice in the last couple of months for them of the season because of an ankle injury. They basically patched her up for the second leg semi-final against Lyon, and then the Champions League final against Barcelona, which they won. And she was superb, and she's been so good for the Dutch as well.
Yeah, she has had a bit of an up and down season. I remember there were a few questionable moments around back passes and decision making where she looked a bit shaky coming back from that early injury, but she's quality, isn't she? She found her confidence, she found her rhythm, and importantly, when it mattered in that Champions League final.
Here goes Lauren James down the right-hand side. England looking for the breakthrough here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds with 15 minutes gone. A match, realistically, they really have to win, lose, and they could well be out in a few hours' time, depending on the result of the Wales against France game, which is coming up. Full commentary from 8 o'clock with Ailey Barber and Danny Gabardon. With the Netherlands again having to defend inside their own penalty area, and they do marshal it behind for a goal kick. But it is all England at the moment, Karen.
No, it is, and I was saying earlier that England are obviously moving the ball quite well, forcing Netherlands to get really, really narrow, and that opens up this entire right side for England. So Lauren James is obviously in that half space, Lucy Bronze on the overlap as well, and they're getting a lot of joy getting those crosses off, building up down this right-hand side for England, and you're seeing crosses going in the box, players at the edge of the area. So I'll be interested to see in the next few moments how Netherlands adapt to that.
I'm interested to see that Van Domselaar already, is that a touch of time wasting, or is she just picking her pass? A draw is not a bad result for the Dutch. If they draw, and it won't be in England's hands come the final day, as Netherlands have defending to do here. Hemp cuts it back inside the penalty area, but it's intercepted by Palova. But England pick it up once more. The Dutch cannot get out of their own half at the moment. This is a really good showing from England so far. Can they find the breakthrough goal that their play deserves here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds? As Stanway chips the ball in, poor delivery claimed by Van Domselaar.
Yeah, she looked frustrated when that came off of her foot. I think she was hoping for, well, I don't know if it was meant to be a shot on target, but a bit more directionality on that cross. But yeah, I'm seeing really good things, really positive signs, a lot of fluidity across this front three, movement into the midfield, Stanway pulling out wide. It's good to see.
Here is Jill Roord for the Netherlands. Out to the right-hand side she goes, but England get the interception in. Toon will roll it out to the left-hand side and will be picked up now by Leah Williamson. All the way back she goes to Hannah Hampton. Nice control just outside her own penalty area and pulls it across to the right-hand side. As Karen mentioned earlier, these two last met in the Nations League a couple of years ago. Netherlands won at home 2-1, and then it was a thriller at Wembley. England were 2-0 down at half-time, came back to win 3-2, courtesy of a 91st minute winner from Ella Toon. It is those sort of games that England have to take encouragement from. As Lauren James has gone down, a little clash of heads there. The free kick has gone England's way. She just controlled on her chest, and then as Berman tried to close her off, there is just a little coming together with the heads there, and James is still down, holding her face.
I just love that she tried that in that area. The confidence in your own ability to take a ball like that that's pinged at you off the chest, have a little flick. You can see that she was trying to go over the head of Berman. It didn't quite come off as well, but it's interesting already that she's up against a young future Chelsea counterpart in Berman, who looks like a really exciting young talent.
Yeah, she's just 19 years of age, Verla Berman, as Lauren James gets back up to her feet. Berman's still receiving a little bit of treatment as well, but she has really shone at under 17 and under 19 Euros in the past for the Dutch. But this her first major tournament, and she's a regular starter. Started against Wales and has started here. Yes. Both players are going to be okay, which is the main thing, and preparing to come back on as England prepare to take this free kick. Lucy Bronze has it just inside the Dutch half on the right-hand side.
No, I was just going to say, Berman's done really well to work herself into this team. Adds a little balance alongside Dominique Janssen in that back line. The left-footed anticipates, read the game really well. It'll be interesting to see this battle between her and Alessia Russo as the game progresses.
So Lucy Bronze is being spoken to here by the fourth official. Serena Wiegmann's come out. I think to try and sort out what's going on, the referee is now pointing with her left hand towards Lucy Bronze. To be honest, listeners, I'm none the wiser than you are as to what's going on here, but Lucy Bronze eventually does take the free kick and pulls it back to Leah Williamson, as Lauren James is now having a chat with the fourth official. He's going to allow her to come back on. And out to the left-hand side. Go England with Jess Carter. A little bit too much on it for Alex Greenwood. She won't keep that in. And it's a throw to the Netherlands over on the far side. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, this is a shame that was a bit of a miscommunication, I think, between Carter and Greenwood about whether Greenwood was going to step forward, and then Carter just misplays the pass, unfortunately, because the movement just wasn't quite in sync.
Long ball over the top again from Williamson. That's what England have been looking for, and it has been relatively effective as Janssen's back pass just has enough on it. As Russo closed it down, her teammate Van Domselaar, and that's a poor clearance from Van Domselaar. James was closing down Boerman, but they get away with it, the Dutch. And here goes Esme Brooks up towards halfway. Barcelona player. Oh, that's a brilliant ball, looking for the run of Chastity Grant. Grant into the area. Hampton's come a long way, and that's really good goalkeeping. Claims on the edge of her box, and that is the sign of a player who in that moment was completely focused. Of course, there's a lot of noise around her, giving Mary Earps a shock retirement ahead of this tournament. Hampton would have been number one, but she doesn't have the experience of Earps to call upon. That was really good goalkeeping, and that's a brilliant pass. Here goes Russo, driving towards the penalty area. Great delivery by Hampton. Russo cuts it back. James gets onto a left foot, goes for the corner! A jewel of a goal from Lauren James! That's why she's England's star player! That sprinkling of stardust! And Lauren James gives them a precious, precious lead in this huge group game against the Dutch. And it's a simply superb stunner. England 1, Netherlands 0.
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. There's so many incredible things. That ball from Hannah Hampton, correct me if I'm wrong, but surely that goes down as, must be an assist somewhere. Even if it's not technically, it deserves one. Because my goodness, what a ball into Alessia Russo. She dealt with it so well. And then to find Lauren James to just curl it, that is why she is on the pitch. That is the magic that she can bring, but I'm seeing a very confident England side at this moment in time. And fair credit, full credit where it's due, Hannah Hampton. Oh, a fantastic ball, and that is why you are in the team.
It was just brilliant all round from England. A real goal to take joy in, to celebrate. Super play. And that is what Lauren James can do, as Hampton just delays over that clearance, closed down by Miedema, and clears out to the right-hand side. Too much on it for James, but ball goes out of play. And the Netherlands have the throw. Well, we saw her do it so often at the World Cup 2 years ago, didn't we? It's one of those, you can almost predict it. When she cuts inside, she gets the ball on her left foot, and she curls it into the goal. It's a super finish. And my word, don't the Lionesses deserve it. They've been superb. As poor as they were against France, as tactically, arguably, as they got it wrong, so far, Wiegman and these players have got it right today against the Dutch. Long way to go, though, as the Dutch bring it down the right-hand side. Here is Victoria Pelova of Arsenal. Marshalled well by Alex Greenwood on the halfway line. Plays it out to the left-hand side, but Bronze is there and nods down. Brooks won't reach it, and that's intelligent and calm, that header from Lucy Bronze, because rather than just clearing it, she heads it to James on this right-hand side, and England can build again.
I'm still so happy with what I've just seen. They just look a much more confident and composed side. You know, they're playing with an air of almost arrogance. This is how I think defending European champions should be playing, with this level of confidence and self-belief. And I just love what is going on in front of my eyes.
I can tell. Lauren James in possession on the halfway line, but this is exactly the sort of response that Sarina Wiegman would have wanted, as the ball goes out of play. Now it's still on the pitch, but it looks as though it did just curve out. I wonder if the linesman went early there. she's saying to the
now she's bossing the ball go around.
Yes, she is. But yeah, either way, it's a throw to the Dutch, as we just see a replay of Sarina Wiegman's celebration. Honestly, you look at the stands all around us, and I think people are still discussing the quality of that Lauren James goal. 25 minutes gone, England lead by a goal to nil. A victory here for England after losing their opener against France, and it is wide open in terms of qualification for the quarterfinals. As Carter plays the ball forward, looking for the run of Lauren Hemp. Picked up just inside the England half. They're playing so well here, England. The Dutch just can't get near them. Here is James, the goal scorer. Into the centre circle she goes and lays it off to Kira Walsh. But just every single England player out there just looks more confident, more composed, more assured. And that's before the goal, not just since the goal.
No, absolutely. I think managing these next 5 minutes is going to be important to continue playing with the confidence, but not getting carried away with yourself. You can see something that we didn't see was the midfield linking up really nicely in these wide areas as well. The numbers are close and compact, but that wasn't a great decision from Alex Greenwood.
Alex Greenwood just bombed out from left back trying to intercept. She's missed, and Chastity Grant can come down this right-hand side. Really good covering by Georgia Stanway to cover for Greenwood there. Grant's done even better. Picks up the ball, leaves Stanway on the floor. Greenwood's watching as the Netherlands play it into the penalty area. She did get back. Here's Ward, edge of the box, goes for the curler, loops it over the bar.
And that's exactly where the Netherlands are going to catch you out. A player like Jill Roord is happy to cut inside, have an opportunity on target, but I'm pleased with the defending and the recovery that I saw from the likes of Georgia Stanway and Kira Walsh. Ella Toon can check her shoulder a little bit more because, there's a couple Dutch players running off the back of it. But Alex Greenwood, rash decision-making there to jump out and press. I think the distance was a little bit too big, but I like the fact that she's considering about the intensity that she wants to get up to the ball, but that was probably the wrong decision.
If you're just joining us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, England leading by a goal to nil. James with an absolute stunner midway through this first half. And Greenwood playing at left back. That's a tactical tweak that Serena Wiegman's made for this game. Jess Carter's in the centre. Carter who had such a difficult time against Cascarino against France. And Wiegman aware of that. Greenwood starting at left back. It's a position she's played many times throughout her career, not so recently, but she is proficient out there. Indeed, she started the opening game of the World Cup 2 years ago at left back for England before playing the rest of the tournament at centre half as Lucy Bronze picks it up on this right-hand side. Again, the Netherlands cannot get near England. Exactly what the Lionesses wanted from this performance so far, as James has it midway through the Netherlands half. Kira Walsh forward now to Ella Toon, plays it forward. Alessia Russo into the penalty area, forced wide. Russo just tries to shovel the ball back across and does so, but it's tame, can't reach him, and Van Domselaar will gather at her near post.
It's well worked through that England midfield as well. I love that Ella Toon is just creeping in between lines, getting in front of that Dutch back four, and that's what she's best at, isn't it? Finding that run of her best mate, Alessia Russo.
Out to the right-hand side go the Dutch. Steered all the way back to Daphne Van Domselaar. Forward now out to the left-hand side. Lucy Bronze will win the header. Back by Lauren James and Ella Toon. 2 Dutch players on her. Groningen gets a foot in. Brooks will bring it away for the Netherlands, easing past James. Still midway through their own half. But don't be fooled, the Dutch have quality. They have a player down on the edge of the centre circle as well. It's Vika Kaptein, she's up to her feet, the Chelsea player. And the Netherlands have it over on the right-hand side. Dominique Janssen, hugely experienced player. Knows these players so well, currently plying her trade for Manchester United, former Arsenal player as well, as Brooks dinks it forward looking for the run of Miedema, but Hampton is there again.
It's a good start position from Hampton. She's anticipating, she knows kind of where that danger is going to come from and what the Dutch are looking for. They're looking to work either in wide areas or in behind the back line, so she has to be alert.
So England 1, Netherlands 0. If it stays like this, qualification for the quarter-finals would be very much on. If they can get another goal against the Netherlands-England, if they can win by a margin of 2, then it would mean that going into that final group game, they would just need to beat Wales. And they would be assured of a quarter-final position. If they only beat them by 1, it all gets a bit complicated in the head-to-head. But first and foremost, the thing is to win. And they lead by a goal to nil as Georgia Stanway is fouled, 29 minutes gone. Are you surprised that we have seen so little from the Dutch so far, Karen?
I was surprised when I saw that Van de Donk wasn't playing, because I thought she was probably the biggest creative outlet against the Welsh, and one of my points was going to be, you have to stop her getting on the ball, but it's helpful that she's not even on the pitch. That definitely makes it easier. But no, England have stopped the Dutch creating, full stop.
As that ball will be shepherded out by Jackie Groenen. And the Netherlands have a goal kick, and again, they're not really hurrying the Netherlands. Look, there's over an hour to go. The defeat for them is not helpful. still leaves them in it, having beaten Wales. They will play France in their final game. Wales against France, incidentally, is coming up later on 5 Live and BBC Sounds commentary from 8 o'clock. Big implications for England, of course, but another huge match for Wales on their major tournament debut. Can they get their first goals, their first point, or points perhaps, against a France side who are so good in their opener against England and are looking to win the first major trophy in their history? Here goes Kira Walsh down the right-hand side, picked up now by Ella Toone. Walsh has continued her run, down to the byline she goes. Does that go out for a corner? Let's see what the referee's going to say. It was right down by that corner flag. Decision is England's. And let's see, as Lucy Bonds is asking exactly that question. Is it a throw? Is it a corner? Well, it looked as though the official had initially pointed for the corner, but it's going to be a throw right next to that branded UEFA Euro 2025 corner flag. And Bronze takes it to Toone, pulls it back to James, curls it in first time, left-footed. Netherlands making a bit of a hash of clearing that. Toone's appealing for a penalty on Russo. That's your BFF going to bat for you there, isn't it, Karen Barzi? Because Russo didn't appeal as she went down, and there is no spot kick, and the Dutch will get us underway with Van Donselaar.
No, that's exactly what you want, isn't it, when your best friend is going in to a fight for you. But I'm enjoying the composure, I think, from England when they're out of possession. I think the Dutch expected to be pressed immediately, high pressure all the time, and that's probably why they were going to play over. But now they're sitting off. It's almost like a false press, and England are enticing them to, go on, yeah, play that ball out there. We'll go and fill that passing lane and win it and come straight back at you.
Hemp down, challenged, free kick given by our Brazilian referee, Adina Alves. And it is all going very nicely so far for England. They lead by a 0-0. You see a replay of that penalty appeal. Nothing really on Russo. It hits Janssen on the shoulder / upper arm. And then bounces off the chest of the other Netherlands player. And we continue with Lucy Bronze on this right-hand side. Forward to Lauren James. Taking on Victoria Pelova. Brooks comes back and wins that ball just inside the penalty area, but she can't keep it in. It's gone out for a corner. Quickly to Wimbledon, Russell Fuller.
Where Novak Djokovic, the 7-time champion, has lost the first set to the Italian Flavio Cobolli, who won it on a tie-break by 8 points to 6, having saved a set point. On number 1 court, the world number 1 Yannick Sinner leads Ben Shelton by 2 sets to love, and it's 3-2 Sinner and going with serve in the third.
Thanks very much, Russell. Coverage of Wimbledon continuing right now over on 5 Sports Extra here in Zurich. England leading by a 0-0 against the Netherlands in what essentially is a must-win group game, and they've got a corner. Greenwood's over on this near side. She's asking the photographers to move back a little bit so she can get a proper run up. White shirts on the move inside the area as Greenwood swings it in, left-footed, and Van Donselaar's done really well there. She comes and claims it and essentially snatches it right off the head of Leah Williamson. That's super goalkeeping, Karen Bardsley.
That was a great take, really well read. She left the flight of the ball really late. She came and attacked it nice and late, took it at the highest point, that it just looked like she's got Velcro on her gloves at the minute.
Here goes Victoria Pelova, slows the Netherlands attack, plays it back to Brooks, and now Roord. And this is probably the longest spell of possession the Netherlands have had in a good while. England leading by a 0-0. They've been very much on top, Serena Wiegmann's side. The tactical tweaks have worked. They look more confident, they look more assured. This is more like the England that won the Euros 3 years ago. They look to keep alive the defence of their crown. Netherlands working it down the right-hand side as Greenwood will clear away up towards the halfway line. Russo will pursue, but it's well defended by Dominique Janssen. And the Dutch will have it just inside their own half. Karen Bardsley.
I think the defending looks really disciplined from England. The gaps are nice and narrow. Sorry, the ball was played over the top and it looked like something was going to happen, but no, it goes out, so I'll just keep on talking. But no, the midfield units are really nice and compact in front of that back line. You can see that George is dropping in, maybe a 4-1-4-1 at times, and even Esme Brooks is getting up on this left-hand side for the Netherlands, and Lucy Bronze knows exactly where she is, but she's staying disciplined in supporting Leah Williamson, and that's a criticism from that game against France that's immediately addressed, which is great to see.
Ball goes out of play for an England throw, which the aforementioned Lucy Bronze will take. That's it about Bronze, isn't it? she cares so much. I mean, you've played with her for so many years, Karen, you know her very well. When things are against England, it seems as though sometimes all of that game management and positional sense, it gets overtaken by her heart, doesn't it? Because she's so desperate to get England back into it, but actually can end up causing more problems than she's solving as the ball goes out of play on this near side for an England throw. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, no, it certainly looks like a much more calm and controlled performance so far. I mean, let's hope it continues in that vein. But yeah, I'm really pleased with what I've seen from England so far.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. Zella Toon loses out just outside the penalty area. And here goes Jill Roord. In field two, Jackie Groenen. She's well closed down by Georgia Stanway, as Burman will send it back to Van Domselaar. As the sun breaks out here in Zurich, the white fluffy clouds are just clearing above this stadium, which has an athletics track, deep red, surrounding the pitch here. So the fans and ourselves up here in the gantry on 5 Live and BBC Sounds are a bit further away from the pitch, but what we can see is very good as Walsh plays the ball in and the header sails just over the bar. Lauren Hempers arriving, she met it under pressure from Casper Wright, and it's another chance for England. It stays 1-0.
It's great to see Kira Walsh getting forward into some really dangerous attacking areas, because I mean, she's a maestro with the ball, is she not? She can really whip in across. And it's just really nice to see that fluid rotation and the confidence. Great to see.
Just look at the replay, it actually bounces off the upper back of Casper Rice, so it would have been a remarkable home goal for the Netherlands to concede had that gone in, but they didn't. It remains 1-0, and the Dutch have a throw in the sunshine over on the far side, deep in their own territory. Wales against France to come tonight on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from 8 o'clock. We'll be building up to that game after this match finishes, as Dominique Janssen shepherds that ball out of play for a Netherlands goal kick.
Interesting though, you know, you can just feel that there's a bit of tension in the stadium, like things are sort of shifting a little bit. Maybe Netherlands are trying to claw their way back into this game a little bit, because the enthusiasm is still there from the players, but it seems like it's waning ever so slightly in terms of field tilt, if you will.
Van Domselaar's ball up towards the halfway line, over the head of Viviana Miedema. They're managing to keep her quiet at the moment, England very quiet. But she only needs a moment, a little like Katoto for France, as Toon comes down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Cut back to Lauren Hemp, almost intercepted, but Hemp does get there. Greenwood now swings it in, looking for Russo. Russo's header, Van Domselaar on the stretch, parries. James is there, really tight angle, well defended by Brooks. It's another England corner.
And the Netherlands are really struggling with these balls that are whipped in from wide areas, and Alex Greenwood does well to get forward and support the attack and whip in a delightful ball, and that's something that we haven't seen a lot from her, because now that she's in that left back position, she can really get forward and kind of have that balance and that lovely little whip across the goal. But Daphne Van Domselaar in that Netherlands goal dealt with that really, really well. It was slightly awkward because it was bouncing, but she parries it just wide enough away from danger.
And it was such a tight angle for James as well. The Dutch were scrambling to get the ball away at that near post. She was pretty much on the byline, James, about 3 yards out. The Dutch have a player down in the penalty area at the moment. It's Burman. She says, we can only see because they're all surrounded. She's surrounded by the technical staff, and we've just seen a close-up on the replay. But I tell you what, the lettering on the Dutch shirts, it's very blocky, isn't it? It's probably a very geeky commentator thing to say, but it is Burman who's down. And she's got a little whack to the lip there, so she's getting some treatment. Chance for the Dutch to come around their goalkeeper, Daphne Van Domselaar. Chance for England to think about what they're going to do from this set piece, leading 1-0.
I think for all the typography nerds out there, it'd be great to get in touch and tell us what kind of typeface is on the back of these shirts, because it is quite tough to read. But no, like I said, I think this will be interesting. This break and play will probably give Netherlands just a little bit more time to get reorganized, get a bit of a foothold, take any sort of momentum away from England just ahead of this corner.
If you're England right now, Karen, is there anything that you would change, or is this absolutely a game plan being executed pretty perfectly?
I mean, if you're picky, there's always something. You know, we have had a lot of opportunities, and the more opportunities go without being converted, you feel like you give the other team a chance to kind of stay in the game. And I would have liked to have seen England maybe put Netherlands to the sword a few more times. But we still got another half to go, haven't we? And that's what I'm a bit worried about, is the changes that they're going to make at halftime. It looks like they're quite happy to kind of keep England at bay for as long as possible, then I imagine we might see an all-out attack in the second half.
Former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley with us here. We've just seen a replay as the Mexican wave ripples past our commentary position, and some of the media getting involved as well. Not sure what I think about that. We've just seen a replay of why Beerman was getting some treatment. It was actually Russo, as she fell trying to win that chance, her boot just flicked up and caught Beerman's lip. Accidental. It wasn't dangerous play, I don't think, because Russo, she wasn't going with her foot, she was actually going with her head. But Beerman off for now, having received treatment on the pitch. So Dutch temporarily down to 10 as Greenwood swings the corner in. Netherlands get first contact, then second, out right back to Greenwood on this right-hand side. Pulled back now to James, who plays it in first time, headed towards goal, and Van Domselaar will just prevent that from going behind as Russo met it, and Van Domselaar launches the ball out over on to Chastity Grant down the right-hand side as Beerman is now back on the field of play and the Dutch back up to their full complement of 11.
That's brilliant from Kira Walsh, straight up to the ball. She's the closest one. Delay the attack, let your England teammates get beyond you, get organised and kill that attack at source. That's really, really good from England in terms of dealing with that attacking transition from the Netherlands.
So England still leading by a goal to nil. Only one journalist in front of us joined in that time. I wonder if he heard us. The Mexican wave went round. So Georgia Stanway picks it up, sends it back to Hannah Hampton. England leading by a goal to nil. A Lauren James stunner. Reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One. You can sync it up with our commentary if you'd like to via the iPlayer as well. Highlights on the BBC Sport website. Hopefully our description did it justice, but it is a beauty. You want to check it out. James in possession, plays it back to Leah Williamson. Again, worth stating, it's been a really, really good performance from the Lionesses. Almost commentators curse as Williamson immediately gives the ball away to Ward and then wins it back. Walsh plays it to the edge of the area. It's over the head of Russo, headed away by the Netherlands. Lauren Hemp picks it up. She's looked so lively. Hard to believe she only came back at the end of April. She looks like she's never been away from injuries. James plays it into the area and the header is nodded wide. Another chance for Russo on the edge of the 6-yard box. She had two orange shirts with her. But that is it, Karen, isn't it? England have been so good in this first half, but chance after chance after chance, and in this must-win game, they only lead by a goal.
Yeah, the longer the game goes on, the more it kind of concerns me a little bit, because the Netherlands still have loads of quality in this team. But what I do like what I'm seeing, Lauren James is picking up some great spaces in between the ranks, and the back line doesn't know whether to step out to her, and when that starts happening, she starts to get free rein. And that creativity just oozes out of her, doesn't it?
So throw to England over on the far side. Greenwood plays it to 2. One change personnel-wise that Serena Wiegman made for this, and she's won a free kick out of 2 midway through the Dutch half on the left-hand side. But it's that tactical tweak as well, bringing Jess Carter in to centre half and pushing Alex Greenwood out to left back. That's really worked. And it's just a different game against France. And I think the frustration from England fans listening to us will be, it looked like the wrong team. Why? It looked like the wrong team selection against France, who have such a strong midfield three. To play James in that 10, brilliant play. We know that she scored an absolute worldie today, but bringing Toon in, just giving that little bit more presence, and they're just a different side, the Dutch. You're not going to be as troubled in that central midfield as you are by France keeping control of the game. But the changes have worked here as England look to get their tournament started. Ball in to the area. Russo can't latch onto it. Still not cleared by the Dutch. Russo now has it. Shot from the edge of the box. Deflected into the arms of Van Domselaar. Well, the arms. I almost assumed that she was going to do the arms, but she chests it down and then gathers. I mean, that's cool as you like, isn't it, from Daphne Van Domselaar?
Yeah, it's a bit strange because it was kind of deflecting and that could have really gone anywhere, but that's signs of a confident player, I think, when you have the capabilities of doing something like that.
Oh, that's a risky pass, though. Lovely turn by Vika Kaptein. Oh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Under real pressure from that ball out from Van Domselaar. Turns away from 2 England players, and then another little trick to take it away from the penalty area. She got that wrong, and England could have been in for a second. She really helped out Van Domselaar there. It was a brilliant play by 19-year-old Vika Kaptein of Chelsea. But England are coming forward once more. Hemp finds James. Into the area she goes. Blocks away by the Netherlands. Picked up now by Ella Toon. Edge of the box. Lovely little back heel. But James hadn't continued her run. And it's cleared away by Buller, and out of play for an England throw. They lead 1-0. They're playing some lovely stuff.
Despite how good Lauren James is, there's a heavy touch there. It looks like she's fatiguing just a little bit as this first half looks like it's coming to a close.
Yeah, 1 minute of normal time to play in this first period. England, who've been by far the better side, leading by a goal to nil. the reigning European champions, bidding to ensure that that defence of their crown does not end today. If they lose and Wales fail to beat France, England are out this evening. A victory, and it's all very much opening up again in terms of qualification for England for the quarter-finals. If they win by 2, they really would give themselves a little bit of breathing space. They just have to beat Wales in their final group game. But the main thing is to win. It's Lauren James, who's given England the lead in this first half, plays it in field, and the whistle hasn't gone. Oh, it did, very belatedly, for a foul on Alex Greenwood. And I tell you what, England will be mightily relieved to hear that whistle go as we enter 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, because if that whistle doesn't go, Ward's away for the Dutch there, and they're off on the counter with bodies over.
And we've seen how dangerous the Netherlands can be on those counter-attacks when they do release those runners as well. But for me, just before that was happening, Hannah Hampton had the ball. Serena Wiegman in her technical area just points to this wide area here on the right, and Lauren James Lucy Bronze underlaps in that half space in the central channel, and it's a lovely ping ball for a set to Lauren James. And I just love the relationship that they're building down this right-hand side.
So James and Greenwood are standing over this. It's lifted in by Lauren James, cleared away by Esme Brooks to the edge of the area. There's 5 or 6 white shirts there. Oh, what a drive! What a super second goal for England. And it's another screamer from Georgia Stanway. She loves getting the ball there, just outside the penalty area. She struck it so sweetly, and England have that second goal that they have craved, that they have deserved in this first half. It's England 2, Netherlands 0.
And the play is broken up by no one else other than Alessia Russo, just being petulant and lurking just outside the areas. There's question marks everyone had around this player, Georgia Stanway. And what a redemption moment for her. Takes a slight deflection, but she still connects tremendously well with it. And that's the Georgia Stanway that we want to see. We're so used to that. Big moments for these England Lionesses. Welcome to the show, Georgia.
Breathing space for England in the closing stages of this first half. As you say, Karen, it did take a deflection. That does make it so difficult for Van Domselaar.
Yeah, of course, it goes through a lot of bodies. It's central, but ultimately you have to just put the shot on target. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the attitude, that's the mentality. That is the England that we're used to seeing, that proper England.
Now, can they hold firm and get to half-time as the Dutch swing the ball into the area looking for Viviana Miedema? Cleared away by Leah Williamson. But just reward for England's dominance in this first half. This has been a performance of reigning champions. That's what they needed. They were under real pressure coming into this game. And so far, they've shown just why they won that title 3 years ago as the Netherlands look to hit back. Here is Victoria Pelova out to the left-hand side, and Esme Brooks. Key moment of the game, key time in the game this for England, you feel. So they look to get to half-time, 2-0 up. Here is Pelova. Nice footwork on the edge of the area. Good challenge by James, and then thumped over the halfway line. And Daphne Van Domselaar will come and collect. No white shirts in the Dutch half, but that is a first. Right now, that's what they want to hear. The half-time whistle. And the cheers around this stadium here in Zurich, Stadion Letzigrund, are from the England fans, because this is the performance that we were all hoping for. They have turned up today, Serena Wiegman's side, in this first half, and they deservedly lead by 2-0. Karen Bardsley.
And to see that game out, to see that half out, I should say, was an excellent display in game management, just to clear the danger when necessary, to remain disciplined in the block when they had to capitalize on the opportunities in front of goal, to put in tackles, to play more confidently. It's delightful, but for me, the highlight was probably that Lauren James goal, I think. But the way in the build-up that came from Hannah Hampton, it was absolutely outstanding. I just think it was a really well-managed first half from England and a great reaction.
Yeah, definitely as a former goalkeeper, it had everything for you, didn't it, Karen? Brilliant ball out from Hampton, nice layoff from Russo, What a goal from James, but that second from Stanway feels so important. England lead 2-0 at half-time.
And I thought the reaction there after the Stanway goal, Karen, was so telling, because the entire bench were off their feet, coming out to applaud what she just did. Serena Wiegmann gave her a punch of the air as well. And I think that is just telling of the collective and individual responsibility that all the England players who spoke to the media in this past week have said they needed to change from the France game. And Stanway was one of them.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that she took that on the chin, that performance, and, was quite honest. I really liked that vulnerability that she showed, in saying that wasn't good enough from us, it wasn't good enough for me, and was, quite brave to accept that criticism and to step up, I think, this England team the way they have, but her specifically individually. I think there's a lot of people that were saying that she possibly shouldn't have started this game. Perhaps I was one of them at one point. But that's the capability that she has. That's the capability that the England team have. And it's just, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased for them.
England and Brighton striker Nikita Parris back with us as well. Nikita, where do you want to start with that performance? We can talk about the Lauren James goal if you'd like.
I think I'm going to start with the intensity in which England played at. The Dutch could not get a foothold in this game. England smothered every ball, was very aggressive in the defensive play, and then the Dutch can't put passes together. And like I said, when you can't put passes together, you leave yourself on the back foot, because England are quick to attack. And that Lauren James goal, wow, unbelievable. But let's talk about the pass from Hannah Hampton. KB, what do you think about that one?
Oh, stop it. Honestly, if you could have seen me when that goal went in, it was like the best thing ever.
Is there a case, though, that it was just poor defending from the Dutch, or do we need to
How dare you?
Well, I'm just asking the question because she looked a little wobbly at times in the France game. She's looked far more assured, the England number one. But was that a world-class moment? Was that her welcome to the tournament moment?
I think there were several things that were excellent about that goal, but it was the patience on the ball to wait for that moment, the space to appear, to see that passing lane that broke several lines of pressure into Alessia Russo, and then for her to hold it up and link the way she did with Lauren James, I thought was absolutely exceptional. So that's a team goal for me, but I'll be honest, Hannah Hampton is so much better with her feet than I would have ever been. You know what I mean? For her to deliver that ball. What is that? So she was just at the edge of the 6-yard box, just inside the penalty spot. That's a fantastic pass through several lines of pressure. And I was going to swear then. The bravery.
Please don't.
Yeah, the bravery to play that pass in a game like this, for me, says everything you need to know about her mindset, and she just wants to let her football do the talking.
And that finish from Lauren James then, Nikita, talk us through it, because she had been started out on the right-hand side, but as she likes to do, drifts into that central area once it's on her left foot. Oh, it's nice.
You're right, Katie, and she likes to drift in, and she comes in her strengths when she's in that pocket, that 10 pocket, whether it's on the left or on the right, and she's driving at defenders, and they just kept backing off because they don't want to put a foot in, because they know how good Lauren is on the ball, and they don't want to create a free kick in that area. But what they didn't know was that she was going to cut in, and she was going to take a shot with her left foot, and what a strike that was. But she can do it on both sides. That's what's so difficult about defending Lauren James, and we've said it time and time again. If Lauren James is fit, she has to play, and this is the reason why she has to play, because she can create a moment of magic. I'm not going to say out of nothing, because that pass from Hannah Hampton was something else.
Are you joining the union? Should we bring you in, Nikita?
I'll give you a card. It's fine.
So for Lauren James, she's been directly involved in 15 goals in the last 13 starts for England across all competitions, 7 goals, 8 assists. So at half-time here in Zurich, it is England 2, Netherlands 0 in this must-win game for the defending champions. So second half commentary on the way. Let's head over to centre court at Wimbledon. And Yannick Sinner, the world number one, closing in on the semi-finals. David Law.
Yes, he stands at match point. Third opportunity against the American Ben Shelton for Yannick Sinner. None of the worries of the previous round when he fell on his arm. He has shaken it out a few times,
14.
but he's been comfortable in this one, and he is victorious in straight sets, having defeated the big serving American Ben Shelton by a scoreline of 7-6, 6-4, 6-4 to reach the semi-finals, where either Novak Djokovic or Flavia Cobolli will await. Big surprise here in that Cobolli took the opening set on a tie-break, led 2-1 in the second set, but Djokovic has reeled off 3 games in a row since then and now has love 40. Looks like Djokovic is going to level this one to try to set up a semi-final against Yannick Sinner.
David, thank you very much. So you can keep up to date with all the action. You won't miss a moment. Commentary over on 5 Sports Extra as the quarter-finals continue at Wimbledon. We'll be back with our team with Nikita Paris and Karen Bardsley here in Zurich in a moment. We're going to preview Wales's crunch game coming up with France too, and talk cricket after the latest BBC News with Joe Hornby.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The government has described a decision to strike by resident doctors as unreasonable and unnecessary. Members of the British Medical Association in England will walk out for 5 consecutive days from the 25th of this month as part of a pay dispute. The chairman of the inquiry into the infected blood scandal says victims have been harmed further by long waits for compensation. Sir Brian Langstaff has issued a new special report saying delays create new injustices. 30,000 people were infected with HIV and hepatitis C following NHS treatment between the 1970s and 1990s. The government said it would look at Sir Brian's recommendations and hope to respond within weeks. The boss of HS2 has told MPs that less than 2/3 of the work on the project has been done and that contracts to build the line are now expected to cost double the initial estimates. Mark Wilde also said that one of the main causes of the delays was starting construction before design work was finished. And Police Scotland have confirmed they are preparing for a potential visit by President Trump to Scotland later this month. He's expected to visit his new golf course in Aberdeenshire when it opens. Here's Orna with the travel.
Thanks, Joe. And the A1 in Northumberland, so it's still completely closed for accident investigation work. It's near the Long Horsley turnoff, it's near the A697 and it's north of Morpeth. The M4 Prince of Wales Bridge second 7 crossing is now closed or temporarily held back by a temporary block between 22 and 23. So that's on the westbound side heading from England towards Wales. The M40 Oxfordshire and its barrier repairs, they continue. It's around junction 7 at Tame. Emergency barrier repairs there. It's partly blocked on each side, so the queues have been backing up to junction 8A at Oxford Services. M25, a couple of accidents, one at 10 at the Wisley interchange near the A3. That's where the roadworks section is. There's one lane closed. Clockwise queues start from 25 at Enfield, head over the top there at 26 Waltham Abbey, round to the M11 at junction 27. An accident which involved a number of vehicles closing 2 lanes, and recovery is still underway on the M25. M25 anti-clockwise towards the Dartford tunnels looking busy as well, taking you half an hour if you're joining the back of that queue. And the M3 junction 2 at the M25, 2 lanes closed for an accident on the southbound side and looking heavy further up as well. And junction 9 at the Winnell roundabout, a breakdown in one of the lanes. On the Merchant 5 Live Travel.
5 Live has the perfect lineup of podcasts to accompany the Euros.
Get all the latest analysis, interviews and debate from Switzerland in the Football Daily podcast.
You have them experienced players that have experienced winning with England.
That Welsh passion, we never know when we're beaten.
Hello, I'm Maisie Adam.
And I am Susie Ruffle.
And together we host the women's football podcast Big Kick Energy.
The award-winning.
Oh yes, award-winning. Yes, very much so.
And join Lionesses Ella Toone and Alessia Russo in the Tooney and Russo podcast.
Anna, I'll take you for your Hendu, Benidorm.
Oh, yes. I would like that. Take the Euros with you this summer. Search Women's Euros on the BBC Sounds app.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025.
With Katie Smith.
On 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Where it is England 2, Netherlands 0 in the balmy evening sunshine in Zurich. Second half commentary to come, and this must win for the Lionesses. Elsewhere, though, this evening, England's female cricketers looking to keep their series alive against India, heading into the 4th T20 at Old Trafford. England 2-1 down in the series and without captain Nat Brunt for those remaining 2 matches. So Test Match Special has commentary from 6:30 on Sports Extra 2. Let's bring in our commentator Henry Moran and former England spinner Alex Hartley, who will be doing commentary for us a little later. Good evening both. So I guess we're talking comebacks here in Zurich, Alex, in the football sense. What about for the cricketing side?
I think that England, from their point of view, will be very relieved to have fought their way back into the series after a really disappointing couple of matches to kick things off, firstly at Trent Bridge and then at Bristol. And they weren't perfect at the Oval on Friday night, it has to be said. They batted beautifully first up, first wicket partnership of 137, and then that contrived to lose 9 wickets for 31 runs. leaving India with a target of 172 that they very nearly chased down. But it felt like a significant win for England because a lot of criticism in recent times about how well they've been able to manage pressure, and this was an example of them managing to get over the line from a difficult situation. So I think there's certainly positives to be taken from that game, and if they can level up the series, sets up a blockbuster finale at Birmingham on Saturday.
And Alex, how big a loss is Nat Sciver-Brunt? I think on course to return for the ODIs, but here tonight.
Yeah, she's a massive loss. You know, when you look at the results over, I don't know, the past 2-3 years, she's carried this team in a lot of games. She's got most of their runs. You know, she's brilliant in the field. She's not bowled or hasn't been bowling in this series due to a different injury. But yeah, massive loss. But obviously a huge opportunity for Tammy Beaumont to captain the England side for the rest of this series. You know, she's played so much for England, 100 T20 caps. For her, she deserves to have a go as skipper, and one game, one win. She's thinking, can't be that hard, can it?
Yeah, exactly. And Henry, we should just touch on the men tomorrow. Third test for England coming up against India at Lord's. And one name on the lips, Jofra Archer.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the big story, isn't it, around this game? Jofra Archer playing his first test in more than 4 years. He replaces Josh Tongue as the only change from that second test match at Edgbaston. And yeah, I think for English cricket, we wondered if we'd ever see this day when Jofra Archer would be fit enough to play red ball cricket for England. And it is certainly a risk. He's only bowled 18 overs for his county Sussex as a build-up towards this. So there is certainly a degree of the unknown, but it's exciting, isn't it? He's a blockbuster cricketer. He's the sort of player that can turn a match in just one spell of bowling. So all eyes will be on what happens when he gets that ball in hand at Lord's.
So the third test gets underway tomorrow morning. TMS team in place for you on air at 10:25 on 5 Sports Extra. Thanks to Henry and Alex in the meantime. And just a reminder, so ball-by-ball commentary 6:30 tonight. So half an hour's time also on 5 Sports Extra 2 and BBC Sounds as England's women look to keep that series alive against India. Fourth T20 commentary for you there. Let's head back to Wimbledon. David Law with an update on Novak Djokovic,
who has just levelled this quarter-final at 1-set-all against the Italian Flavio Cobolli. 6-2 Djokovic. He didn't even need half an hour to win that set, and he now needs to win 2 more sets to try to set up a semi-final, a blockbuster semi-final against the world number 1, Jannik Sinner.
David, thank you very much. A win earlier as well for Jannik Sinner, the world number 1, up against Ben Shelton, the big serving American. Our second game this evening, though, in the football on 5 Live is Wales taking on France. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff in St Gallen in Switzerland. We've got commentary to come with Ailey Barber and Danny Gabardon, but thousands of members of the famous Red Wall have made that journey over to Switzerland. One of them is Hayley Evans. Evening, Hayley, then. How are you feeling?
Nostalgia. I am feeling pretty nervous, pretty excited, all of the emotions.
What's the atmosphere like then? Because it was goosebump inducing ahead of that first game when the anthem played, and I know we'd spoken, hadn't we, on 5 Live before about how much that moment was going to mean to you.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting it to be a bit more subdued in St Gallen today, but it really hasn't been at all. We've had an amazing performance in the fan zone earlier from Ad White and Alicia Scott, and who rounded that off by singing the Welsh national anthem for all the fans. And you know, there's still the best part of 2,000 of us out here for this game. There's more coming back out at the weekend, and the atmosphere is buzzing. You know, we're all just so proud of the girls who are getting here. You know, despite the result on Saturday was absolutely phenomenal as a day for us and for women's sport in Wales. And we're just incredibly proud of them, and we won't stop backing them.
What a huge task they have this evening, though, Hayley, against France. Just quickly, they need a point at least. It's going to be tough. They've never beaten them before.
No, we haven't. And it will be the absolutely performance of our lives if we can even get a point from France tonight. We know what we're up against. France are an incredible side, and we've just got to go out there and do our best. That's all we can do. And as fans, we need to do our best as well to be the 12th woman.
Hayley, thank you so much and enjoy it. Good luck.
Diolch, thank you.
So Hayley Evans there, one of the thousands of Wales fans heading to St Gallen this evening. Our base, though, for the next 45 minutes, Zurich. England leading the Netherlands by 2-0. We'll hand you back to our commentary team of former England #1, Karen Bardsley, alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thanks very much, Katie. So just underway here in the Netherlands have made a triple change at half-time. On come their record appearance maker, Sherida Spitzer. Forget this, her 246th cap. She's the most capped player in women's European football in all of history. Caitlin Dijkstra and Lynette Beerenstein have also come on, going off Jill Roord, Villa Berman and Esme Brooks. So we'll have a look at how this might change things for the Dutch. But they've got to try something, haven't they? And Andreas Jonker, Karen, he's rolled the dice ×3.
No, he has. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up turning into a bit of a 3 in the back, maybe a 3-5-2 to kind of occupy those two centre backs. Beerenstein, you could see already getting on to Jess Carter, but Vivianne Miedema floats just across that front line, doesn't she? And just, I think they're really going to obviously have to throw the kitchen sink at this game in the second half.
So no changes for England at half-time. They lead by 2-0 as the Netherlands win a throw just in front of their former coach and Dutchwoman herself, Serena Wiegman. Karen Bardsley.
But what I did see that was quite interesting was just how ineffective Vivianne Miedema was in that first half for the Netherlands. I think she only got about 8 touches is what we saw on that stat pack at halftime. And yeah, it just shows how well England defended and kept that Netherlands threat at bay.
It is the Dutch in possession. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but it will be interesting to see how much Miedema pushes forward to make a 2 with Beerenstein. She can drop into a 10, Miedema, but it does give her, whether she's a 10 or a 10.5, she's called it at times. So I guess it's more of a 9.5 if you're playing right behind the number 9 role. But certainly gives her a bit more support with Beerenstein as the Dutch win a set piece over on the far side midway through the England half. So England, no changes for them at half-time. Hampton in goal. The back four of Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Carter. Walsh and Stanway, who scored the second on the stroke of half-time in midfield, with James, who scored a stunning opener. Toon and Hemp supporting Russo up front. But defending to do here as the Netherlands prepare to take this free kick over on the far side. In that slice of sunshine. England with the white shirts lined up just on the edge of the penalty area as the ball is played into the box, and Hannah Hampton watches it all the way and takes well.
That's a really, really confident take from Hannah Hampton. She was on the front foot and she attacked it really well, but not sure if that was a worrying sign or just a chance to kind of take the sting out of that delivery, but she stayed down for quite a while. But it was a high delivery and she had to come through bodies, and Beerenstein looked like she was gonna look to leave one on her, but no, she just missed.
So we'll try and work out this Dutch formation and give it to you in a second. It's one of these where they may switch a little bit in between in a 3 and a 4 out of possession as well, as Daphne van Domselaar watches over in the sunshine as England have the throw over on the far side, leading by 2-0 as Lucy Bronze takes it down that right-hand side. Lovely little back heel by Alessia Russo, picked up by Ella Toon, and England are driving once more towards the Dutch penalty area, picked up by Greenwood, out to the left-hand side, and Lauren Hemp, she's pressured by Kasparai, and Kasparai gets the block in England corner.
And it's well defended. I think England is continuing to really push forward. Alex Greenwood getting forward, looking to support the attack.
So Greenwood preparing to take this corner from the near side. England looking to increase their advantage and make it 3-0. It had been a good start to this second half from the Netherlands, but Hannah Hampton dealing with the balls into the area. What will the Dutch do with this? Greenwood sends it in. It's headed away by the Netherlands, by Kasparai, sent back in from the right-hand side by Kira Walsh. Again, the Dutch will clear. Toon picks it up, chips the ball into the area, headed away again by the Dutch, picked up by Williamson, who's still up there from the set piece as Alex Greenwood drifts it in left-footed, and there is the third goal. Alessia Russo looks to the heavens and celebrates. And England are taking a huge step towards opening up this group and giving themselves a real shot at making the quarterfinals. Or are they? There is a goal check. The flag has gone up. And let's see, VAR are going to have a look at this. So, let's see if this is going to stand. It's been ruled out on the pitch. VAR are checking. It's a brilliant header by Russo. And VAR will have a look. So the Dutch are preparing to take this set piece inside their own penalty area. But VAR are having a look. Offside been given on the pitch. But let's see.
It says it's a good delivery coming in from Alex Greenwood, but it said it in the build-up to that goal. So it would have been earlier in the advanced stages of that ball going into the area.
And it has been confirmed. It is offside, and we're back underway. So no third goal for England. It was a brilliant little header from Russo in a really good position. I was going to say, she looks to the heavens, and now we know why, because it's offside. I think also she might have said finally, or maybe she said something else when she saw it was offside. We won't speculate. But it's 2-0 still. But again, the movement from England and Russo inside the area was good. But ruled out for offside in the build-up as the Netherlands pick it up outside their own penalty area. England fans off their seats inside the Stadion Letzigrund in Zurich, back on their seats very firmly. But they still lead by 2-0. 6 minutes gone in this second half.
I think it's important to say that immediately, look, you're getting success from balls into the area from wide, so that is something that England need to stay on top of and capitalise as often as they can. Don't go away from the things that are working. And with this formation change, it looks to me like it's become a 3 in the back for the Netherlands. And if they're throwing numbers forward, you're going to get those spaces in behind those wing backs, and you're going to get joy there. So keep looking to exploit that.
Yeah, so the Netherlands with Van Domselaar in goal. It is this back three now of Kasperij, Dijkstra and Spitzer. Janssen and Chastity Grant as the wing backs. With Groenen and Kaptein and Pelova in the midfield. And then Berenstein and Viviana Miedema up top. But as we say, Miedema can drop into that kind of 9.5 role, as she calls it. But she needed more support, didn't she? I mean, as you say, 8 touches in the first half. Yes, we know she's a player who can create a moment of magic out of nowhere, Miedema, but not if she doesn't have the ball.
No, exactly. It just wasn't quite working. England didn't let the Netherlands kind of get into the game. They didn't let them create. They didn't let their key playmakers in the midfield get on the ball and feed the likes of Miedema Roord out on that left side. And it was exquisite. It was very, very good from England in the way it was handled. But now with this Berenstein going up forward alongside Miedema, Leah Williamson and Jess Carter are going to have a decision to make about when to step in, who covers who, and they're going to be consistently occupied. So how they communicate that is going to be really important.
Georgia Stanway with a swing on halfway up towards Lauren James. Oh, beautiful control from James in the sunshine in the centre circle as the England fans raise their voices once again. Oh, such good close control. Lays it off to Georgia Stanway. She's having a brilliant game, James. She's scored a brilliant opener, added to by Stanway on the stroke of half-time. Russo's had a goal chalked out for an offside in the build-up in this second half as England win a free kick on the halfway line. And we're just seeing a replay here of this offside. It's Leah Williamson in the build-up who has been penalised before the ball reached Russo. A shrug from Serena Wiegman. Of course, they had VAR decisions not quite go their way against France as well, but they lead by 2-0. And a reminder, if the scoreline stays like this, or if they win by a margin of 2 England, not only do they put themselves in real contention for the quarterfinals, but it also means they would only have to beat Wales in their final group game. If they win by a margin of 1, it all becomes very complicated, potentially in the head-to-head between themselves, Netherlands and France. Long way to go, but coming into this game with real pressure on the Lionesses' shoulders. They have risen to the occasion so far. Given away, though, there by Kira Walsh. And here come the Dutch with Victoria Pelova driving towards the penalty area. They're backing off here, England. The shot gets a deflection and will spin behind for a Dutch corner.
And Pelova, you know, she's been in and out of this Arsenal team as well in the WSL. She's made her way back into this Netherlands side, recovering from that long-term injury, and she's so determined to make an impact. She just drives and drives and drives and forces that back line back. I was a bit concerned there that no one was going to step to her and she was going to have free opportunity.
So Sharida Spitzer, hugely experienced player, 35 years of age, actually made her debut as a 16-year-old against England back in 2006. Still playing at this level. Swings the corner in right-footed. It's poor. It's headed away by Alex Greenwood. The white shirts pressure the orange ones out of the penalty area. And Kasperij will send the ball all the way back to Daphne van Domselaar.
Sorry, I'm just kind of playing the game with my hands as we kind of speak, and I'm looking at, how the back line squeezes, how they get pressure on the ball, where the gaps are. Georgia Stanway is getting up quickly, but Gronin is pulling out into this right-hand side and just looking to kind of pull, I think, Georgia Stanway wide and trouble Lauren Hemp from time to time.
Netherlands in possession over on that far side. Over the halfway line they go. Dominique Janssen will pursue that, but Lucy Bronze has done well, gets there first and marshals the ball away, goes down. It's given as a corner. It was the last touch off Bronze. She goes down, she doesn't get the free kick, and it will be a Netherlands corner. Quickly to Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
Novak Djokovic is level at 1-all and now has the break of serve in the third set as well, leading by 2-1. He's serving at 15-30 against his young opponent Flavia Koboli, but Djokovic turning the tables now.
I do apologise. David Law, thanks very much for that update. And Wimbledon coverage continues over on 5 Sports Extra. Corner to the Netherlands from the far side, looking to get a goal back against England. Greenwood wins the header, sends it away from the 6-yard box. Russo will complete the clearance. Again, England very deep, but they've done the job. They've got the ball away from the penalty area. And the Dutch coach, Andries Jonker, nice control from him inside his own technical area, plays the ball forward for a Netherlands throw. England leading by 2-0, 11 minutes gone in this second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
An important spell of defending, for England in terms of just clearing the pressure, no nonsense. Sometimes you just put your foot through it into an area, squeeze up the pitch and just manage the threat.
So Greenwood with the throw. Just level with the edge of her own penalty area as Lynette Berenstein claps her hands together, encouraging her Dutch teammates. Conceding goals has been a problem for the Dutch of late. First clean sheet in the last 10 games against Wales in their last match. England's keeping them at bay so far, and there's a good example of why. Jess Carter, really good sliding challenge, concedes the corner, but it was a great tackle, Karen.
No, it was certainly a very good tackle coming from a central area. She just had one eye on that ball the entire time, and Chastity Grant, she's had a good season at Villa last year. Big threat down this right-hand side for them.
So Sharida Spitzer will swing the corner in high. It's all the way out of the penalty area. Will be collected over on that far side by Victoria Pelova. Not sure she was attempting that there, Spitzer. Indeed, no, because the Dutch have been forced back to the halfway line, and Casper Rai, who goes all the way back to Daphne van Domselaar. England leading by 2-0. England, who had lost 3 of their last 5 games after that France defeat, as many as in their previous 19. They've been up and down in the Nations League in the build-up to this tournament, but this is a response of defending European champions. That's what they are. They don't like to talk about it as defending the crown. Serena Wiegman talking about achieving something new, but that in reality is what people will see it as. They were under pressure going into this game. The defeats coupled with France points, at least against Wales, would have seen them crash out with a game to spare in the group stages, but they lead by 2-0. Here come the Dutch though. Chastity Grant at the far post hooks the ball across goal, and it won't be converted by Miedema. What an opportunity there for Chastity Grant. They just lost her, the English back line. Difficult in the end because it was on the angle, but she could have done better there, Karen. That's a big chance for the Dutch.
No, you can see that Chastity Grant was just looking to work the outside shoulder of Alex Gruen. Alex Gruen knew she was there, but there's some positional discipline in staying nice and compact and supporting your center backs as well. But there has to be a point in time where Jess Carter recognizes, takes the player nearest to her and releases Alex Greenwood to put some pressure on.
At the other end though, flag stays down against Alessia Russo. She's forced out to the right hand side, marshalled by Spitzer. Russo trying to get the ball into a central position. Lucy Bronze will pick it up now, sends it forward to Lauren Hemp, who's popped out on that right hand side. She's done really well. Down to the byline she goes, pulls the ball across. Russo inside the area. Toon must be blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box, but there she is again. Lauren James from close range. This jewel in England's crown has given them a 3-0 lead against the Netherlands, and this was the sort of performance that the reigning European champions needed to put in here against the Dutch, and they are doing it to a T. When the chips are down, they've risen to the occasion, and they lead the Netherlands by 3-0.
And Hempo does really well. Lauren Hemp gets forward, puts a ball across, and numerous England players have abided the cherry. Ella Toon, but no, it falls delightfully. Fortunately for the feet of Lauren James, just placed home, composed. Lovely composed finish from Lauren James, and again, that is why she is on the pitch. She just finds some great areas, but delightful skill from Lauren Hemp to beat her defender 1v1.
Well, she's now been involved, Lauren James, directly involved in 8 goals in just 5 starts at a major tournament, as the ball goes out of play for a Netherlands throw, and the Dutch will be so disappointed. They started this second half well without really testing Hannah Hampton, other than from a couple of good deliveries that Hampton did well to claim, but they just had that opening with Chastity Grant, couldn't really find the shot or the cross to make it pay. And England, having lost by this scoreline to the Dutch all the way back in 2017 in the semi-finals of this tournament when Serena Wiegman was at the helm, now lead in this huge group game by the same scoreline. And it has been such a good performance from the Lionesses, and it's going to put them in a really strong position if they can see this out with this sort of margin to get through to the last 8. It would mean that in their final group game they have to beat Wales, but it's in their own hands as Russo is bundled off the ball, stays down. Referee happy with that challenge. Sharida Spitzer is going to put the ball out of play, and Karen, to my right, you weren't too happy with that tackle on Alessia Russo.
No, I wasn't. She just went across. I mean, it looked a lot worse, I'll be honest, in real time, but Spitzer goes in hard across Alessia Russo, and for me it's the high ankle contact that looked really awkward, and Alessia Russo looks like she's in a lot of pain. Fortunately, I think she's going to be able to get back to her feet, but looking back, reminding ourselves of that goal that we just saw, again, some really good wide play from England, good combinations to draw the Dutch across to create some space for Ella Toon to have a swing at the ball and LJ to put it to bed. But look, I think ahead of this game there's so much criticism, and a lot of people were saying, look, how are England going to react? It could either be, quite tepid, or they could come out guns blazing, and this is what we've seen today.
Well, Daniela van der Donk is being prepared on the Netherlands bench as Russo is up to her feet. She's going to be able to continue. But just seeing back a replay of that goal here in the stadium, it was a really good finish from Lauren James, wasn't it? I mean, she catches it first time, clean strike into the bottom corner. Yes, it's close range. She's probably about 8 or 9 yards out. But it was composure, it was coolness personified. As Carter has a bit of defending to do at the back here, does so. Greenwood wins the header, and Walsh clears over halfway, and Ella Toon's going to chase this, but it's got far too much on it for Toon. And it goes through to Van Domselaar.
Yeah, like I said, she placed it, didn't she? I mean, in training, you put mannequins sometimes if you haven't got a goalkeeper, and you just say you got to put it here in order to, make it count. And that'll be countless hours on the training pitch, won't it? Just shaping the ball into an area, and it, looking at that back, it looks like she could do that in her sleep.
When she's on a game, Lauren James, she is quite simply one of the best in the world. She makes this beautiful game look effortless. And here she is on the ball once more, on a hat-trick too, racing towards the penalty area, just ran out of room there. The Dutch doubling up on her as well, they might, and they bring the ball away from their own penalty area. But this is a tall order now for the Netherlands. They won't be out of contention, but that game against France looks absolutely huge for them. For England, next up it's Wales. Wales who take on France in the second Group D match this evening. Full commentary coming up on 5 Live with Ailey Barber and Danny Gabardon from 8 o'clock. Can Wales get their first goals, their first points perhaps at this major tournament, their debut major tournament, as the Netherlands have the ball on the halfway line? It's almost won by Kira Walsh, who's been so much more effective today than she was against France. Long ball over the top, won't be reached by Chastity Grant, and it goes out for a goal kick to England. Back to Wimbledon, David Law.
Where it looked like Novak Djokovic had got the measure of his 23-year-old opponent, Flavia Cobolli, breaking in the third set at 1-1 but Cobolli has hit back, and he now leads 3-2. It's all in the balance here at Wimbledon.
Thanks very much, David. Commentary continues right now over on 5 Sports Extra. And a reminder that this match here at the Euros, England 3, Netherlands 0, is currently live on BBC One. Join our commentary team of Robin Cameron and Rachel Brown-Finnis, or sync up with our commentary via the iPlayer as the ball through just doesn't reach Russo. And it's all the way through with Daphne van Domselaar. And Karen,
sorry,
wasn't it?
I'm having a geeky goalkeeper moment as well, because you can see Lauren Hemp going across, trying to pin that back three, creating that space for Georgia Stanway. And there's a little flick on from I think it was Alessia Russo in behind the back line, and it looked like it could have really been a beautiful goal if it would have just been completed on the other end. But the way Hannah Hampton strikes a football is absolutely incredible. The flat trajectory of it, it's a delight.
Well, there will be no 101st goal for Viviane Miedema. She is being replaced. And here comes the woman that you were surprised to see drop out of the starting lineup for the Dutch, Karen, Danielle van der Donk.
Yeah, she was absolutely tremendous, I thought, against the Welsh. Everything that looked dangerous went through van der Donk. And, you know, we've seen what she's capable of doing years ago when she was at Arsenal, and she's always a threat. She's going to chase everything down. She's going to cause havoc in between the lines and constantly putting the centre backs under pressure. And I was really surprised when I didn't see her start, so I thought maybe she'd picked up an injury or something, but yeah, she's quite a player.
And she's going to be back in the WSL next season. Danielle van der Donk, what a signing it is for the newcomers, London City Lionesses, their first season in the top flight. And they've signed her from French champions Lyon, as Karen says, ex-Arsenal player. Hugely talented, and on to try and make a difference for the Dutch. But it's England coming forward again, and Russo could be in behind it. Skips past Spitzer, into the penalty area she goes. Left-hand side, pulls the ball across. Here's Toon, just on the edge of the box. Toon gets the shot away, and it's 4. And England have arrived at Euro 2025. So much pressure on these shoulders coming into this game, but they're proving their mettle. They're showing the world what they're made of. They lead the Dutch by 4 goals to 0.
And it's a great long ball, isn't it, from Jess Carter over the top. And who's there? Alessia Russo for a good cutback, and she knows where the danger is. It's Ella Toon lurking at the edge of the area, and I thought the chance was gone, but no, she manages to get an opportunity on target. She just gets an element of space there, squeaks away from Palova, and just guides it past Daphne van Domslaar in a very composed way. And this is what we saw, didn't it? Like, cast your mind back to Jamaica when she was just scoring for fun, wasn't she? And she looks like she's in really confident form, and a great move, I think, from Serena Wiegman, making sure that she was on the pitch.
Well, she was questioned, Wiegman, for her tactics after the France game. But there can be no questioning of England's European Championship winning manager in how she set up for this game. The game plan has worked to perfection, and the Lionesses have put in the performance needed, and the Dutch are rattled. And they've been poor, Karen. I mean, we talk about how well England have played, but it's a little bit like the France game, isn't it? Yes, France were brilliant, but England were poor. How much of this is England being brilliant and the Dutch having a really bad day?
I think a lot of it is England being brilliant. They've stopped the Netherlands creating on numerous occasions, but I think Nikita Paris actually mentioned it in the build-up, didn't she? You know, there's lots of players there with good technical individual quality, lots of midfield players, but if they're not clicking, if they're not finding that rhythm, they're really going to struggle to create, and I think that's exactly what's happened.
Well, listen to the ovation for this woman here in Zurich, Lauren James. She's replaced by Chloe Kelly as Serena Wiegman makes the first change of the game, and she has just been superb.
She's been absolutely tremendous, a delight to watch today. Again, that freedom to float into those really dangerous areas. She's linked play really, really well. So threatening down England's right-hand side with Lucy Bronze. They've created a real amazing relationship.
And here goes Russo once again, wins the free kick deep in Dutch territory, just up from the corner flag. And Chloe Kelly coming on. Another chance for her to impress. She did relatively well coming off the bench against France. You know, people were debating should she start ahead of Mead, but that's the other thing that Wiegman's done. Yes, James started the last match against France, but moving her out wide, bringing Toon to the centre, and James can drift around, we know that, but having Toon in the centre, and yes, again, it's a different challenge to the one they had against that midfield three of France, but it has just given England that better presence. And I have to say as well, I think Stanway and Walsh have played much better.
Oh no, the midfield's been exquisite today. You need that central structure, that spine, don't you? And I think Ella Toon gives you that. She's got positional discipline out of possession, and the three of them, you know, they played together back in the day at Manchester City all together, so they know each other inside and out.
So Alex Greenwood's shielding her eyes from the sunshine over on the far side as England look for a 5th against the Netherlands. Now she swings in the free kick. It's a good delivery, headed away by the Dutch, flick back towards goal. Netherlands trying to get something on it and eventually will clear just inside their own 6-yard box. Ball's gone out of play. Looks like there was an offside in there, and the Dutch will have a free kick just inside their own penalty area. So this, in terms of the group, is very, very good news indeed for England. It will move them up to 3 points, getting them off the mark. The Dutch will be on 3 points as well, having beaten Wales in their tournament opener as they clear the ball straight out of play for a throw deep in their own territory to England. France take on Wales tonight. They've already got 3 points, having beaten England in their opener. We'll have commentary of the France-Wales game for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from 8 o'clock. But the key thing is, if it stays like this and England win by this margin, it has to be just a margin of 2, in fact, and they're 4-0 up. They know they go into that final group game with Wales knowing that a victory against Wales, regardless of what happens in the game between Netherlands and France, will mean that they do go through, essentially because they'll beat either France or the Netherlands on the head-to-head. It's all very complicated. Spent a long time going through it off air earlier, but that is the situation. Too long didn't listen. This is a really, really good scoreline, not just result, for England in their bid to progress to the quarterfinals. Here is Spitzer, gets the interception just inside the Dutch half, bounces off Russo, goes out of play for an England throw. What has impressed you most in terms of, apart from Lauren James, who has been the real shining light, individual performances here for England?
No, she has been brilliant. I did get to say earlier when she came off just, how good her goals have been, how composed she's been. But yeah, I think for me, being the goalkeeper, I tend to see things through a bit of a defensive lens. So I think the organisation has been tremendous. The distance between the units, the distance between the ranks looks so much tighter, so much better, so much more disciplined. They're managing the in and out of possession phases really well. I think Georgia Stanway and Keira Walsh look like the old Georgia Stanway and Keira Walsh that we're used to seeing, which makes me so happy to be able to say, but how is this the same team that played against France? It's crazy, isn't it?
Van Domselaar with the ball just inside her own penalty area. 18 minutes to play, England leading by 4-0. A group game that really was must win, and they look well on their way to winning it. The ball goes out of play just in front of Serena Wiegman. When you talk about the difference in terms of performance, what do you think has had more of an impact? The changing of the tactics by Serena Wiegman, or just the individual level of players' performances going up? Karen's thoughts in a moment, because Russo could be in here. Good covering by Dijkstra. Steers it back to Van Domselaar, who calmly plays it out to the right-hand side. Good defending by the Dutch, but the clearance bounces off the head of Georgia Stanway. Falls in the area for Spitzer, who's headed that almost out of play, but Van Domselaar alive to it. Stanway's still down. She's now up to her knees. I think she's going to be all right as the Dutch get us moving once again. So, tactical changes or individual performances, what's been the key today?
I think it's been a combination of several things. I think, admittedly, the girls after the game said, Serena Wiegman said that the tactics weren't executed in the way that she wanted them to. They wanted more long passes, and for some reason it kind of all went wrong, didn't it? But I think ultimately the girls' performance is so much better individually, better on the ball individually, more physical, just being able to get a foothold more consistently throughout, but obviously against a very different opposition.
Former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley here with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Really good defending there just a few seconds ago by Jess Carter, just marshalling Chastity Grant away from the penalty area as Casper Eye has it for the Dutch, who trail England by 4-0. Beth Mead is preparing to come on for the Lionesses as the Netherlands work the ball out to the left-hand side and picked up by Dominique Janssen. This will be a bitter blow for them as the ball is into the England penalty area. It's cleared away. England will be very keen to preserve this clean sheet, as well as the 3 points, the vital 3 points, the precious 3 points that will see them move level on points with France and the Netherlands in this group, with France playing Wales later this evening. Full commentary with Ailey Barber and Danny Gabidon on 5 Live, 8 o'clock tonight. As Janssen has it on the left-hand side, pulled back to Pelova, plays the ball into the area. It's over the head of everybody and behind for an England goal kick.
I think what else really stands out to me, Vicky, is the way that every individual has seemed to take on their own responsibility. Each each player is doing a bit of a job and a half, you know, in possession and out of possession. The communication looks so much better. You go here, I go here, close that distance, reduce those ranks, put your foot through it. You know, it seems so much more cohesive, and it's great to see.
So here comes that England change, and it's a double change. Ella Toone and Lauren Hemp making way for Beth Mead and Grace Clinton. And just a word on the performances of Toone and Hemp today, Karen.
I mean, where do I start? Toone, she's really solidified that midfield. Obviously getting on the score sheet as well. Oh no, that one was chalked off, wasn't it? But regardless, I mean, she's been outstanding in terms of linking play. She's just brought another presence. She's linked up with Alessia Russo exceptionally well. And I think there's a real leadership to her. So I was really, really pleased to see her get on and play so well.
Yeah, Russo chalked off Toone standing, but yes, England leading by 4-0 because of such a contribution, not just about the goal either from Toone, in terms of the overall performance that she's put in as well has been so huge. So Grace Clinton getting a run out along with Beth Mead, and that's going to be an interesting battle, isn't it, for Mead to potentially get back into the side if Lauren James is going to play out on that right hand side rather than in the number 10, which is where she started against France. Again, horses for courses, perhaps different approaches for different teams, as Mead inside the penalty area goes for goal. It's blocked away by a combination of 3 Dutch defenders and driven towards the halfway line. Carter sends the ball clear. It's over the head of Dominique Jensen and will go out of play for a Dutch throw. So England leading here by 4-0 as we see the official match attendance, and pretty much a sellout, short of 100 seats or so, but 22,600 here at Stadion Letzigrand in Zurich. And they have seen these many, many England fans, the thousands that have travelled to see the Lionesses, a very good showing from the defending European champions. And we now have a new record, the highest combined attendance across a Women's Euro group stage, around 290,000. And as the Netherlands play the ball back midway inside their own half, England leading 4-0. We spoke about it yesterday when we were watching Germany-Denmark, Karen, but you know, there are smaller stadiums here in Switzerland. The final's going to have 34,500. That's a far cry from Wembley. But they are packing out the stadiums, and you can sense they're so proud of hosting this competition. As the Netherlands have the ball inside the area, lovely little play by Palova. Oh, it's behind Beerenstein, 3 yards out. If she just stood still and let the ball hit her, it might have bounced in, but it just curves away from her and goes out of play on this near side. But they have, in this second half, had a couple of really good chances in the England penalty area, the Dutch. And if we're talking about things that Serena Wiegmann will want to work on going forward, at times there have been those little lapses of concentration defensively.
And it's Palova, isn't it? She just drives at Williamson, and the thing that's so good about what Palova does, she keeps the ball centrally so she can go left or right, but she just cuts and gets Williamson's hips turned so she can't move quickly, and then gets beyond her. And England are very, very fortunate that Beerenstein didn't manage to time her run to get on the end of that cross.
I'll tell you what's happened here. The Dutch have won a corner. The assistant flagged for a goal kick, but Jess Carter had already turned her back and was running back to defend the set piece. So whether the referee was going to give the corner initially or just saw the England players running to defend it and thought, tell you what, it's probably a corner. Who knows? Maybe have a look at the assistant next time, Jess Carter, and go, oh yes, goal kick, very good decision. Instead, it's a Dutch corner. England lead 4-0. Spitzer sends it into the corner of the 6-yard box, headed away by Lucy Bronze. Chester down on that far side by Beerenstein, and now picked up on the edge of the box, swung in high by the Dutch, and Hampton comes, made a bit of a mess of claiming that. Spitzer across, Hampton redeems herself, blocks the ball with her feet at the near post, bounces off Walsh, another Dutch corner.
And it's a dangerous delivery in. It's, again, hung up really well, but you know, Hampton, she's going to want to have to come, but she'll have to either punch that away a further distance or try to claim it. Slightly untidy.
Spitzer's corner's been cleared away by Jess Carter. England 4, Netherlands 0 as we approach the final 11 minutes of this game here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A reminder, coverage is over on BBC One if you'd like to, and select it via iPlayer. You can watch the pictures with our coverage here on 5 Live, and the commentaries from the Euros continue across the next few days. Later this evening, we've got Wales against France. Huge match for Wales. They will be out if they lose to France, with England beating the Netherlands. And the Dutch will pick it up on the halfway line. It's Jackie Groenen plays it back to her midfield partner, Daniela van der Donk. And it goes out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze all the way back to Leah Williamson. So Wales against France coming up later this evening. Then we have Switzerland against Finland tomorrow from 8 o'clock as the hosts look to make it through to the knockout stages. Here is Georgia Stanway on the edge of the penalty area, cleared away by the Dutch. And that orange wall behind their goal, though, very silent, pondering a poor performance from their side that's going to leave them needing to do something pretty special against France when it comes to that final group game. As Grace Clinton picks it up inside the centre circle, out to the right-hand side they go, and Leah Williamson will pick it up now, sent out to the left-hand side, and Jess Carter, Alex Greenwood now in possession, plays it back to Hannah Hampton as Serena Wiegman watches on, but it really couldn't have gone much better for Wiegman, could it?
No, not at all. She was, obviously heavily criticised, wasn't she, after that performance against France, but not only, I think, did she make the right decisions in terms of putting the correct players in the right positions, but the girls massively stepped up.
Out to the right-hand side. Go England, picked up by Lucy Bronze. In field, they go now to Georgia Stanway. It's lovely work by England inside the area, and Russo on the edge of the 6-yard box sees her effort cleared away by Van Domselaar.
And it's good effort in terms of the combinations and the central run from Kira Walsh. And Alessia Russo finds herself in a dangerous chunk of space just outside that 6-yard box, but fails to obviously put it beyond Daphne Van Domselaar. But I fear one of these might be her last opportunity as we see some subs getting ready.
Yes, Aggie Beaver-Jones and Niamh Charles are preparing to come on for England, who have this corner from the far side. They lead by 4-0. Looking for the 5th, and it's Lucy Bronze with a header. It loops towards goal, and shepherded almost behind. Is that going to go for a goal kick? Yes, it is. Good defending in the end from the Dutch. And they will have the goal kick as England prepare to make this double substitution. So Niamh Charles is preparing to come on. Let's see who's going to get a bit of a rest here. First we'll see Aggie Beaver-Jones is replacing Alessia Russo, and just a word on her contribution today, Karen.
Alessia Russo's been absolutely exquisite today. I think big part of the build-up to several goals, and obviously a few herself as well, and one that was chalked off. And there's just been so many goals, it's getting hard to keep track of, to be honest. But no, I thought she's been central to a lot of England's success today. And as well, Lucy Bronze coming off so much success down that right-hand side today. Really, those two should be very proud of their performances.
So Charles is on for Lucy Bronze. Interesting one, this. Greenwood is still at left back, and Charles is over on the right-hand side at right back, having done a straight swap for Bronze. This is what Serena Wiegman did against Jamaica as well. I'm going to get Karen's thoughts on Maya Letitia in a moment, because she's another option at right back. But the Netherlands are coming forward. Here is Chastity Grant, pulls it back to the halfway line, and Kirsten Kasparai, and now Sherida Spitzer. And out to the left-hand side go the Dutch. Oh, lovely turn by Vicky Kaptein of Chelsea. She's going to go for goal as well, but blazes it over the bar. So let's head back to Wimbledon. David Law.
Nothing between the 38-year-old Novak Djokovic and his 23-year-old opponent. It is a set all. It is now 5 games all in the third set as they try to set up a semi-final against the world number 1 Jannik Sinner.
Thanks very much. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. So Wales against France coming up. Just to clarify, Wales will be out if they lose and England don't beat the Netherlands. So this result, this scoreline for England will see Wales with a little bit of faint hope, but it's a huge game for them. Can they get their first goals? Can they get their first point or points at their first major tournament? But so far, so very good indeed this afternoon for England, as the Netherlands make their final change, and Jackie Groenen is being replaced by Damaris Eguirola. But just let's bring you in now then, Karen, on Maya Le Tissier, Niamh Charles, Lucy Bronze and that right back position.
Okay. I think I'm just as perplexed as many people back in England as to what Maya Le Tissier's role is and what else she could really be doing in order to get into this England team. Obviously, Sarina Wiegman sees her predominantly as a right back. I'll throw it to you, Vicky.
Well, a little pull back there, and Aggie Beever-Jones is let go by the referee on the edge of the penalty area. Ball goes out of play for a throw to England, deep in the Dutch half. A little bit fortunate there, I think, the Dutch. Beever-Jones right on the edge of the box, trying to get away from her marker. She had Chloe Kelly in the centre as well. England throw. We'll come back to the Maya Le Tissier discussion, because I know it's something that particularly Manchester United fans very protective of their captain. She plays at centre half for Manchester United as the Dutch intercept that ball and look to play it out. It's won by England over on that far side. But Wiegman's saying, look, I see her as a right back for England, but Niamh Charles can play there, but if she can't even get in at right back ahead of Niamh Charles, who's really a left back and plays other positions, then what might she be thinking? But as Van Domselaar has the ball in the penalty area, Wiegman is a manager who, she is so direct. She does give players very clear indications of what their role will be, and it would be interesting to know whether she had spoken to Le Tissier about that, as Beever-Jones picks it up right hand side of the area, ball crossed into the box. It's over the head of Chloe Kelly from her Arsenal teammate Beth Mead, and the Dutch will pick it up on this right hand side. England leading by 4 goals to 0, 3.5 minutes plus added time to play.
The quality on display here today has just been so good, and the massive step forward in terms of the quality on the ball and the passing range. I mean, I thought Hannah Hampton, frankly, was very good against the French. One of the few that I thought stood out, to be honest. And her passing here has just been another level. I wouldn't be surprised at times maybe if Sarina Wiegman wants her in a back 3 if she needed to, because she's more than capable.
Netherlands in possession. England ticking very nicely towards victory. 4-0 up here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Wales against France to come later. Do join us for that 8 o'clock as Chastity Grant just goes slightly down, holding her face. England making a bit of a mess of clearing it. In the end, Georgia Stanway clears up towards the halfway line. Beever-Jones is penalised for a bit of a push, and Chastity Grant of Aston Villa is okay over on this right hand side.
England are going to want to see this game out, and obviously a really important thing for me personally, and I think for the rest of the team, is managing to keep a clean sheet. So that will be the priority.
Yeah, going deeper into the tournament, as England are putting themselves in a really good position to do with this victory. You need to make sure you're defensively tight, as that ball is swung in by Spitzer into the arms of Hannah Hampton. If they do get through England, they will face the winners or the runners-up of Group C in the quarterfinals. That will be Germany or Sweden. Could be a rerun of the Euros final 3 years ago against Germany. Could be a rerun of the semi-final against Sweden. England won that by the same scoreline that they're currently leading the Netherlands. But Sweden, well, didn't they have an off day? They're a much better side than that result suggests. A strong challenge on Pelova. He's penalised. That might have been called back for something a little bit earlier, I think. Yeah, looks like an England free kick midway through their own half.
Looks like Van de Donk just left foot on Alex Greenwood a little bit. She's clearly frustrated as she kicks the ball away, and she's only wasting her own time. But yeah, there's several, I think, storylines that have come out today. Playing Lauren James on the right, Ella Toon in that 10 role. How effective and how much distance the shift that Alessia put in, Alessia Russo, and I think that the level has dropped ever so slightly. I think perhaps as all those changes have been made, we've got obviously a few players playing out of position, the likes of Niamh Charles on the right, and again, to that point that you touched on there, Maya Le Tissier. She's been so good at Man United, and I just don't really understand why she can't get a sniff. But as you say, Sarina Wiegman will have a reason, and I'm sure Maya Le Tissier will know exactly what her role is, and she's spoken about, whatever it is, she'll do it because she's a great team player. But I think she's got something to offer.
coming together there with Chloe Kelly and Vika Kaptein, but both players now up to their feet, and we play on down that left-hand side with Grace Clinton, and she wins a throw deep in Dutch territory for England. Did you expect this performance from them, Karen?
I didn't expect 4. I knew they were capable of winning this game, but I wasn't sure how it was going to go, if I'm being honest. I think, listen, I know the quality that these girls have, and sometimes it's just about that mindset. And for whatever reason, I think France were excellent, but I think we also didn't help ourselves. But today, yes, clearly against a different level of opposition. But this is the England that I'm used to seeing. And I know that they're capable of these performances.
And Greenwood plays the ball forward, looking for the run of Beaver Jones, but Spitzer has tumbled right next to her and the whistle's gone. But it does make me think back 3 years ago, Karen, as we enter 3 minutes of added time, to the quarter-final against Spain, where England were 1-0 down for so long in that game. They equalised late on, then they won it in extra time. And it was so key for Serena Wiegman saying for the building of their resilience and their confidence. And it feels like, yes, it's only the second group game, but England knew that if they lost and Wales didn't beat France, they would be out. That's huge pressure as reigning champions to come into this game on. And actually, I wonder whether this performance, this scoreline of 4-0 with 2 minutes of added time to play, could provide a similar catalyst going forward in this tournament for England.
No, it certainly will be. They'll take a lot of confidence from this performance. They'll take a lot of momentum in terms of the things that they were doing right, the things that they kept doing in order to pull themselves into the advantage, into the lead that they currently have now. I think there's key opportunities for minutes and legs for players that might not have been able to get that, but it's about managing the squad now, isn't it? Continuing to prepare in the way that they did for this game consistently for the remainder of the tournament.
Now, Jess Carter's gone down after a late challenge. Netherlands have a throw, but the referee's just going to stop play to make sure Carter is okay. So back to Wimbledon. David Law.
The 24-time Grand Slam champion has just taken a 2-1 lead against Flavia Cobolli of Italy, 7-5 in the third set. He needs one more set to set up a semi-final against Yannick Sinner.
Thanks very much, David. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. Just Carter is back to her feet. There's so much to pick out of this tactically. That change has worked brilliantly. Carter moving to centre half and Greenwood at left back.
No, absolutely. A little bit of natural balance for Alex Greenwood out on that left-hand side. We said perhaps that would be better for her centrally, but it solves a great problem. Jess Carter looks so much more comfortable in those central areas, and she's working really well alongside Leah Williamson.
Here come the Dutch with Vika Kaptein. Can they get a consolation goal? Wouldn't matter too much to England. They need to win by a margin of 2 to have it completely in their own hands against Wales. And the Dutch can't make anything of that. They have possession just inside their own half as we enter the final 20 seconds of added time, and that ball forward won't be reached out on the left-hand side by Janssen. It's not been the Dutch's day, but it very much has been England's day. When they desperately needed a performance, the reigning European champions have provided one of high quality. They have beaten the Netherlands by 4-0, and they have arrived at Euro 2025. Forget the defeat to France. This is what England are about. They've shown up today against the Dutch, and they put themselves in a very strong position to qualify for the quarterfinals. Karen Bardsley.
I heard something the other day that really made me smile. I think our friend Robin Cowan actually said it. She said, pressure's not just for tires. And I really chuckled when I heard it, because you know, it came out of the England camp. They thrive in these moments with their back against the wall, and what a performance. Quite contrasting from what we saw from, you know, obviously that France game, but really disciplined defending. You can see throughout the game the girls were talking to each other. Step in here, stay here, keep your shape, go forward. The decisions were better. They were much tidier, and I saw leadership through every single unit, every single position on the pitch. So I'm really pleased with the performance.
That is exactly what England needed. They've delivered it as Sweet Caroline rings around the stands here at Stadion Letzigrund in Zurich. England take a big step towards the quarterfinals. It finishes England 4, Netherlands 0.
And Lioness Nikita Paris with us throughout this evening as well. Is that a big, big welcome to the tournament for England, Nikita?
That it is. What an emphatic win, 4-0. I mean, I don't think the Dutch side turned up today, but, you know, England punished them. When they had the opportunity, they were ruthless in the final third.
Ruthless is certainly a good word for it today, Karen. It's something that they weren't against France. So we really need to talk about all the things that they have turned around in just 3 or 4 days. And there's so many things that they did so much better today.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to Sarina Wiegman as well for taking the brave decision to put Alex Greenwood at left back. I think that was a big one. Obviously, you mentioned that several times, Vicky, didn't you, in commentary, around just the balance that brought and the stability that brought to that central defense. She was able to whip in crosses, Alex Greenwood, from a natural position. There's a great shape on it as well, but moving Lauren James out to that wide right position, I thought she was so good in terms of her free roll, when to come in and create overloads, when to come in and shoot, just to unleash her best self, I thought was terrific. Adding Ella Toon, obviously, to that central spine, there's so many positives. A goal in it for her as well. You know, it was so much fun to watch Georgia Stanway and Kira Walsh get high, be aggressive, stop anything dangerous that the Dutch might create before it even starts. I just thought it was an excellent performance, but I think Nikita is right. I think that the Dutch let themselves down a little bit.
Well, England are in their trademark huddle on the halfway line at the moment, Nikita. Sarina Wiegman is talking animatedly, but she has a big smile on her face. What is she going to be saying right now?
What a positive performance. You know, she'll be happy that they turned around, you know, the game today from, you know, the game against France, and she'll be definitely saying, now this is our foothold in the tournament. We have to push on from here. Getting 4 goals against the Dutch is massive, and it's really important that they got confidence from this game. And I think today they got the result as well as the performance.
So we're going to go through what went wrong for the Dutch. We're going to react to this throughout the next half an hour. We'll build up to that big match between Wales and France, and we'll be getting reactions straight from inside the tunnel as well, although the England fans still out on the pitch at the moment, and I'm not sure they're going to hurry in, Nikita, quite as quickly as they did against France a few days ago right here in this stadium in Zurich, as Leah Williamson, the captain, leads over the Lionesses now to the far side, the right-hand side from where we are sat here in this gorgeous evening sunshine, and she's now done 3 big fist pumps to the crowd. It did feel like the atmosphere, actually, Karen, was really important for England tonight. It has been exceptional. It's a sold-out crowd here, but I think they felt like they had to go and perform. They had the audience to do it.
Absolutely. Full focus was on the England players and their own performances individually and as a team. But obviously, when you see so much support, you know, we saw it yesterday as well for the Germans, it really lifts you. You know, when you see familiar faces in the crowd, your friends and family are here, but you literally feel like you can do anything and the whole country's behind you. So it is terrific to see so many flags and England shirts and, you know, Sweet Caroline going around, and they were really carried, I think, throughout the course of that 90 minutes by their fans.
Do you ever get sick of hearing Sweet Caroline, Nikita?
No, not when you've won, and that's the only time you hear it, so long may that continue. But I think the players will be taking up all the adulation, you know, from the performance, but the crowd would have been so happy to see a performance and a win for England. Not all of it, because that orange wall would have been fully disappointed in the performance from the Dutch, but it's so important for these players to feel the crowd and enjoy the atmosphere, and what a Euros it's been.
So we should talk about where this actually leaves the group right now. So as we're looking at it, England actually top of the group after that. 3 points gained against the Netherlands, and of course 4 goals scored, so a positive goal difference now. France sitting in second, taking on Wales in just over an hour's time. The Dutch on 3 points too. So all to play for still, Nikita, and we shouldn't get carried away, I guess, with a performance like this, because the stark contrast of what we saw between this and a few days ago, that was what was concerning people so much about these Lionesses, was the capability is there, the depth is there, the talent most certainly is there, but there are certain days where it doesn't seem to come out.
Yeah, and this is the roller coaster of tournament football. Some days it comes off when you get your win, and other days it doesn't quite work out the way you want it to. But the important thing is to continue to show up, and I think that's what the Lionesses did tonight. They showed up and got the result they needed to get. But I'm sure Wales will be, focusing on France today. But as you heard Rhian Wilkinson say, they want to cause an upset, and could that come against England? We're yet to see.
So a full lap from these players going around Stadion Lexegrund in Zurich. So let's talk then about Lauren James, shall we, Karen? 2 goals. She started once again, second game in a row. There had been people calling for perhaps her to come on as an impact sub. There were some people calling for her position to change. That did. And yet it was from that central area, that space where she scored again, the opener at least.
Yeah, no, I think she is. I mean, people would say that the 10 is probably her best position, but I would say it's probably the positioning of being in central areas, that she can drift into is probably the most dangerous thing. The responsibility of the 10, which probably, Keats can speak to a little bit better than I can, defensively maybe just isn't something that she's quite at the level that she needs to be, although she is on her way. But more importantly for me, being in that wide area, cutting inside, she has so much freedom, just kind of cause chaos by overloads, just dribbling, taking players on, disrupting the opposition structure, which we saw loads today against the Netherlands. And her finishing ability, like when she cuts inside, she's got right foot, left foot, you just don't know what she's going to do. And for me, it's the nonchalance of it all. I just love the fact that she's just, the expression on her face never seems to change, even when she does something like that no one has ever seen before.
That's it, even for a second goal, Nikita, the way she's just stood there, almost completely static, but the key thing, in perfectly the right, precise position.
Yeah, and I think that, that second goal looks easy, but she's got defenders flying in, slide tackling, trying to, put pressure on it, and she just finds the bottom corner with her left foot, which is a weaker foot in essence. But, the quality of Lauren is unbelievable. And I think what Karen said before is correct. She finds great positions in them 10 pockets, but that's because she's able to float and be a free kind of spirit within that structure, in that midfield. Just be in front of the Dutch defence, but not too close that they can come and pick it up. So she has that half a yard to create something special. And as we've seen tonight, 2 goals. What a performance.
Do players fear her?
Yeah, of course. You've seen it in the first goal. The Dutch kept backing off, and they didn't want to put a foot in because they don't want to, give a foul away. But they also know that Lauren has the ability to be able to shield the ball as well as hold you off as a player. And her talent, there's no ceiling on her talent, and we're looking at a potential, global star.
I think, from a goalkeeper's perspective as well, when someone cuts in from wide areas, it really opens up the goal, and especially when they're so two-footed, they can just put it in either corner, shape it around you. They can turn defenders inside and out, and then suddenly you're in a different situation, so then your start position has to change because it could be a threaded through ball. So the variety of threat that she provides for this England side is tremendous, and if I was facing her, I think I would have broken my ankle so many times from changing direction.
Well, why don't we hear from her alongside another of England's goal scorers this evening, Georgia Stanway, Lauren James, pitch side with Joe Curry.
Well, Georgia, Lauren, I think you can smile a little bit after that one. A fantastic result, some brilliant team performance there, and some sweet goals to go with it as well. Lauren, how much did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I think the goals say it all. We bounced back, obviously, from our previous game, and today we showed that we're more than capable of, showing the world what we can do.
That's a cracking black eye you're sporting. What happened there?
I know, that's why I don't go out for headers, but yes, a nasty one.
Georgia, that was a fantastic strike from you. How sweet did it feel when it left your foot?
Yeah, I think it took a little deflection. I'll have to watch it back. But no, I'm just happy to have made it 2-0. And then obviously when we got to 3, that's when we can kind of settle a little bit, because as soon as we open the doors and they get one back, then you never know what can happen. But yeah, I've always said, and I said the other day, this is about showing who we are. We wanted to go back to proper England. We fought till the very first minute, from the very first minute till the very last. And LJ set the tone with that goal and we all just followed.
Lauren, there's been a lot of focus on you this tournament. It's only the second game. How much of a relief is it to get your scoring account open?
Yeah, massive. I think as long as I'm helping the team in every way I can, whether that's providing or scoring, I just try to do my best each game, and hopefully as the games keep going on, I keep getting more involved.
She plays it cool, doesn't she? But how good is she?
Yeah, she's class. She brings something different to what we've got. Yeah, you give LJ the ball and you know she's going to run through everybody and try and get her shot off. And if LJ is confident, then that's what we want, because we want her to go out there and enjoy herself, play with freedom. But I think everybody else has got to do their job in order for LJ to be able to do hers.
Well, look, that was a wonderful performance. I think you're both going to watch your goals back tonight, because they're pretty good to watch. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren James and Georgia Stanway with Joe Curry reacting to that massive win for England in the group stages at the Euros.